principles of the Anglo-Saxon judiciary system?
No, I'm going to wait and catch it when the movie comes out.
No, it's a textbook for this legal principles course I'm taking from Professor Brinkerhoff. Pretty wild, too. He says that the law protects everybody, no matter how tacky, lowly, shabby, worthless.
You rang?
Oh, hi, Maynard. You're early.
And I've been earlier, except I had a slight delay.
I know. You slipped and fell down on the streetcar tracks at 9th and Main.
You're wrong, Dobe.
Now, Maynard, don't be silly. You know that every morning you slip on the streetcar tracks at 9th and Main. People set their watches by you.
Not this morning, Dobe.
You slipped on the streetcar tracks at 8th and Main?
I didn't slip on the streetcar tracks at all.
Maynard, I'm proud of you.
I fell down a manhole.
Fell down a manhole? Sue him, Maynard. Sue him.
Now, Dad.
No, nothing. Weren't we just talking about that legal professor of yours over at the college, and he was saying that, what's his name?
Yeah, Brinkerhoff.
Yeah, well, he was saying that the law is the law for everybody, even 10-thumb knuckleheads like Maynard here, no offense.
No offense, but who am I going to sue?
The city.
Oh, you're Joshing, ain't you, Mr. G? I love this city. I love its streets and alleys, its hills and valleys, its parks and sewers. This is my city.
Now, hear me and hear me, good boy. If you're ever going to amount to anything, you have to think big. Never sue for anything less than $1 million. Take Fess Circle.
Over in River Street?
That's the guy. Got his foot caught in the door of a bus, sued the company for $1 million.
Like, wow, and he got $1 million, huh?
Well, not exactly. As it turned out, he had to give the bus company $16 for busting their door, but he got a miserable lawyer. Oh, if he'd have had a good lawyer, he'd have gotten a fortune.
Like, wow, $1 million. Ooh, man, I'm like loaded.
Diamond Jim.
You rang?
Before you start spending the money, you've got to prove that falling down the manhole was the city's fault.
Sure it was. They dug it right in front of where I was walking, didn't they?
Yes, Maynard. Was there any kind of warning sign in front of it?
Just a little bitty one, and all it said was
Bitty.
no trapping. I guess it must be the beaver season or something.
No traffic.
Yeah, and some dumbbell couldn't even spell. He put a lot of S's right in the
Right
middle.
in the middle, yeah. Maynard, that was no trespassing, and you just lost your case.
I didn't want to take any money from this dear city anyhow.
No.
I love this city.
Sure, Maynard. Come on. I'll grab my books.
I
We'll
want to
go
get
to
some
school.
gum.
Good.
Son, is this the book you were looking for?
Oh, yeah. Thanks, Dad. I don't know what I'd do without you.
Yeah, neither do I, but just thinking about it's made my whole day.
Like, help! Ow! It's got me!
What's he got me?
I put my penny in the machine and nothing came out, so I thought, let's go, you rat.
All right, Maynard, stop clowning around and take your hand out of there.
I like tried to, but it's like stuck.
Stuck? It is not. It's impossible.
Careful,
It's
Dad.
ridiculous.
Dad.
It's stuck. Here, come here. Now, get a hold of him.
Couldn't we, like, leave it like it is, please? I mean, please, don't.
When I tell you to pull.
Oh, look, Mr. Jack, I'll be the first kid in my block with a glass box and go...
Okay, don't. You all right, Maynard?
Yeah, I'm like fine, Mr. G. There is one thing, and I almost like hate to mention it.
Well, speak up, boy. Speak up.
I'm like taking your advice.
What do you mean?
I'm suing you for $1 million.
Maynard, sue my dad. Sweet, lovable, warm-hearted Maynard. That's too ridiculous to even think about. Oh, I know he said he was going to, but that wasn't Maynard. That was the pain speaking. I knew that when he came to his senses, he'd change his mind about suing for $1 million.
I've come to my senses and changed my mind about suing you for $1 million.
I knew it.
I'm going to sue for $2 million.
$2 million for what?
Well, I wouldn't want to make an issue of it, but I think my hand's on backwards.
Your head is on backwards. Wrong with that is just a simple little sprain. Maynard,
Dad, let me help you. Maynard.
Present.
Maynard, I'm ashamed of you talking about suing Dad. Why, you're one of the family. Remember when we were little bitty kids? It was me for you and you for me.
And T for two and two for T.
Maynard, listen, you were practically brought up in this house. You were like one of the family. Why, Dad was like a second father to you.
Like true.
That's right.
Second daddy.
Never mind!
Better off to be sued.
Maynard, don't you remember we shared everything? Our joys, our sorrows.
Our measles, our mumps. Dobe, I've been like a blind fool. Don't make that a dirty rat and I like hate myself. Mr. G, can you ever like forgive me?
No lawsuits?
Against my own second daddy?
Maynard, cut that out from me!
All I want to do is be a member of the family again and tea for two and like that.
A member of the family. You drive a hard bargain, boy.
Dad.
Never mind, I was just kidding. Okay, Maynard, you're forgiven.
Oh, you're like a real human being, Mr. G.
Well, I guess you're not such a bad kid yourself.
Gee, it's like pretty misty.
We better start for school before we all get too misty to travel. Professor Brinkerhoff hates it when we're late.
Yeah, well, so long.
Yeah, see you later, Dad.
Second daddy!
An old fogey, that's what you think I am. You probably think the law courts are composed of a lot of old fogies blowing dust off a lot of musty books. But you're wrong. The law courts are battlefields for justice, and a good lawyer is a good fighter. He's in there punching all the time, fighting for the rights of the underdog, the poor, the meek, and the miserable.
You rang?
Now, when I was practicing law, there was nothing in the world that I liked better than a good old-fashioned knock-down, drag-out damage suit.
Hey, Dobe, look at the swinging bandage I got over at the infirmary.
Not that I... Bandage? Infirmary? Accident? Who's hurt?
Like me, Professor, Your Honor, sir. I caught my hand in a chewing gum machine.
What's that? You caught your hand in a gum machine?
It was nothing, Professor, nothing at all.
What do you mean, nothing? When does your case come up?
You don't understand.
You're out of order, Mr. Gillis. Will you let the witness answer? You are suing, aren't you?
No, sir, I couldn't be such a dirty rat.
What's that?
I mean, I'm practically one of the family, you know, tea for two and two for tea.
2 for tea.
You would have had to be there.
Yeah, what Maynard's trying to say, sir, is that he had this accident at my father's store.
I understand the law, sir. And this sounds to me like collusion. Malfeasance. Nonfeasance. Intimidation. What do you think of that?
I plead guilty and throw myself on the mercy of the court. Don't send me to prison, like, please.
Ridiculous, Mr. Krebs. You're the injured party.
I am?
Why, you suffered bodily injury, didn't you?
Yeah, not only that, I hurt my hand, too.
And to say nothing of the nervous shock.
And to say nothing, my hand's like I'm backwards.
Maynard.
There's very little demand for backward-handed bongo players.
Is that your vocation?
No, sir, I don't get my vocation till June.
Bongo playing? Is that your work?
Work?
Maynard.
What I'm trying to point out, Mr. Krebs, is that you're sitting on a gold mine.
A gold mine?
Maynard, it's a vigorous...
I seem to recall another case. It was Witherspoon versus the amalgamated gumdrop machine. The same thing. A man got his hand caught in a gumdrop machine. The damages, $100,000.
100,000 gumdrops?
Will you wait after? Class is dismissed.
Did you hear that, Dope? A gold mine. I can get a new set of bongos and a bicycle with a two-tone
Great,
horn.
Maynard. You can ride it out to the poorhouse and blow it when you come visiting the Gillis family.
Poorhouse? I wouldn't let you go there.
Maynard, you're sending us there.
In my opinion, Mr. Krebs, you have an ironclad case. My suggestion to you is to sue them. Fight, boy. Fight.
No, sir, Professor, Your Honor, sir. I couldn't do that to Mr. Gillis.
You don't think Mr. Gillis has to pay those damages, do you?
Well, I'm a little short myself, sir.
Of course not. The insurance company pays the damages. Your father is insured, isn't he?
Hey, wait a minute. Sure he is.
Then your problems are over.
Like, wait a minute. You want me to sue the insurance company? I can't do that. I love the insurance company. They got that nice new building downtown and a bench outside where I sit and wait for the bus, and they got a little pool full of goldfish. Oh, they're cute little goldfish, and they're all wiggling and gurgling.
Mr. Krebs, you won't have to sue. In the first place, I think the insurance company will pay your claim without argument. Remember, insurance companies are only too happy to pay all just claims promptly and cheerfully.
They're happy?
Of course.
Well, okay then, because that's what I want them to be, is happy, yeah. Well, I love that insurance company.
Yeah.
Did I tell you about the goldfish? They're all wiggling and gurgling.
Yes.
And they're so big. Like a
Yeah.
black...
You've done that.
Maynard, where you been? We're due at the insurance.
I had to stop off the drugstore to get these, like, supplies. Will you help me tie this up, please?
I would not. Do you know what that is? Fraud.
No, it isn't. It's just a sneaky trick to get more money out of that insurance company. Boy, we're really going to gouge him, huh? Really sock it to him, huh, Dobe?
We are not. We're going up there and present an honest case and get an honest settlement, like honest gentlemen.
Well, would it be okay when we're up there I give like an honest groan once in a while?
Well, I don't know. I suppose it'd be all right as long as it's honest and manly and not too loud.
That's just what it'll be, Dobe. Honest and manly, and you'll barely hear it. Like John Wayne when he's got an arrow in his shoulder. He'd rather die than have Chill Wills think he's chicken.
Well, as long as it doesn't sound phony. Let's hear it.
Oh!
No good, Maynard. If you can't do any better than that, forget
I
it.
got a lot more, Dobe. I got a lot more. Listen. Ow. Ooh. When I get to one you like, stop me. Ow.
Maynard, that's it. That's just right. Maynard, that's it. That's it. You can stop now. Maynard, what's the matter with you?
You're standing on my foot.
Excuse me, Maynard. Come on.
Now, where was I, Miss Jones?
Dear Mr. Johnson, it is people like you who are driving the insurance companies out of business. 3 accidents in the last year is a disgraceful record.
Even though you are a lion tamer. We are rejecting your latest claim on the grounds that you're a clumsy oaf, a careless nitwit, and an accident-prone chowderhead. Sign that warmest regard.
Yes. Oh, there's Mr. Krebs due in a few minutes.
Oh, yes, well, that's the Gillis claim. That sounds legitimate, thank goodness. You get them started, I'll be right back.
Good afternoon. My name's Gillis, and this is Mr. Krebs. We're in a big hurry, and Mr. Krebs... Hello.
I'll be right with you.
What's the rush, my dear? As a matter of fact, I'm afraid I'm going to have to check your leave papers. And don't tell me you're not on furlough from heaven. I know an angel when I see one.
Ooh. Oh.
Not now, Maynard. There's a brave fella. Salt of the earth, but a complainer. Now, where was I?
No place, Mr. Gillis. Excuse me, I have to get Mr. Krebs' accident record.
Oh, just a moment. If you want to get a record of his accidents, I'm the one you want to talk to. Of course, it may take days, even weeks, perhaps months.
Mr. Krebs has had a lot of accidents?
A lot of accidents.
Yeah, have I had a lot of accidents?
He's had so many accidents, they get mixed up in his mind.
You should excuse the expression.
Fortunately, due to a steel trap memory, I can help you. Accident by accident.
All right, Miss Jones.
I was just explaining to this lovely young lady.
Yes, I heard. With a line like that, you should have been able to land a whale. I'm Waysack, chief attorney for the insurance company.
How do you do?
Yeah, well, take notes, Miss Jones. I think we can dispose of this case very quickly.
Like crazy, because I got a sale on bongo drums and bicycles with 2-tone horns, and if I could...
Oh, I see, Mr. Krebs. Well, I'm interested in hearing your history of accidents.
You're, like, interested in accidents?
Yes, accidents are my business. Like the sculptor thrills at Rodin's The Thinker, the painter at the Mona Lisa. I am moved by the sprained ankle, the mashed thumb.
I don't even count little bitty ones like that.
What do you count?
Oh, like when I slip on the streetcar tracks.
Oh, you slip on streetcar tracks, do you?
Yeah, or I'll fall down manholes or get my beard caught in the pressure cooker.
Beard caught in the pressure cooker.
Yeah.
Maynard, all Mr. Waysack wants to do is hear about your accident so he can give you the money.
Oh, yeah, the money. I like forgot.
Ooh. You see, Mr. Waysack, Maynard, enough. The pain.
Came on rather suddenly, didn't it?
Well, it comes and goes like alternating current.
Yeah, but it's something that $5 million wouldn't cure.
Oh, you'd settle for $5 million, would you?
Well, I ain't saying yes and I ain't saying no.
Well, what are you saying?
I ain't saying.
You know what I'm saying, Mr. Krebs? Like alternating current, you've come, and like alternating current, you go. Both of you.
Go.
Farewell. Auf Wiedersehen. Au revoir.
But we haven't got the money.
Exactly. Sayonara.
You mean no $5 million?
No 5 cents. We're fighting this claim on the grounds that you're accident prone.
You'll hear from our attorneys about this.
Not only that, we might even sue.
We might even...
Do me a favor, will you? Take some heartfelt advice and don't. You seem like a nice, if unfortunate, young man. Our attorneys will clobber you. They'll cut you to pieces.
Oh, yeah? Well, we'll see you in court.
And that goes like double.
Maynard.
No, it's no use, Dope. Ever since this thing started, I can't sleep. I'm having nightmares. I'm nervous. I'm jumpy. Look out! Look out! A bomb! A bomb!
Maynard! Maynard, it was just a baseball.
Oh, excuse me, I didn't mean to intrude.
You're not intruding. You're not intruding.
Ugliest girl I ever saw.
Fresh kid. Do you mind? Do you mind, please? Excuse us. You see what I mean, Maynard? You're all nervous about nothing. The insurance company doesn't have anything personal against you.
Yeah, then how come they want to get me to stand and clobber me? Them sharp lawyers will tear me to pieces.
So we'll get a sharp lawyer, too.
But their lawyers are like the sharpest. All they gotta do is hear the word accident.
Accident? Where's the accident?
Accident?
Accident? Who's hurt? Where's the... Oh, it's you. How'd you come up with the insurance company?
We did, and they're fighting it. And... Hey, wait a minute. Hey, how about you handling the case?
Oh, no. It's been 20 years since I practiced law. I'm a teacher now. On what basis are they refusing payment?
They said it was an accidental prune.
Maynard, that's accident prone.
Their defense is accident prone?
Yes, sir.
Well, I'll take the case. We're as good as in. They're basing their defense on a lot of mumbo-jumbo.
Maynard, we're in. They'll never clobber you with Professor Brinkerhoff handling the case.
Yeah, I can hear that two-tone bicycle horn now.
Why, we can't lose. All we have to do is be sure he makes a good presentation in the courtroom. All he has to do is look bright and sharp and alert and intelligent, and we're dead. All we have to do now is to depend on the fact that there's no such thing as accident prone.
I'll buy that.
What?
There's no such thing as accident prone.
I'll buy that. There's no such thing. Accident prone?
Exactly. That's why we're taking this case to court.
Court for what?
We take all these simple nuisance cases to court.
Well, I'd be the first one to agree that Maynard's pretty simple and he's also a nuisance, but why make a federal case out of it?
Because it's my duty as an employee and a loyal American to fight these unwarranted claims.
I don't care. He is a sweet, lovable, warm-hearted kid. So he got his hand caught in the gum machine. How much is it going to cost you for a little sprain?
How much? I'll tell you how much it's going to cost. Let me see now here. Sprain, elbow, ankle, shoulder. Oh, here we are. Sprained wrist.
All right, how much?
Oh, running with a lot of money, Gillis.
No, cheapskate.
Oh, this Grebs is a clumsy oaf, and he doesn't deserve a cent. Money doesn't grow on trees, you know.
He is a sweet, lovable, warm-hearted kid, and he ought to get a chunk of dough.
Well, why don't you give it to him, then?
Me? Money don't grow on trees.
You were just saying that we were a bunch of cheapskates.
Now, listen, Buster. How much would it cost me to give you a punch right in the nose?
Just a minute. Pinch, punch. Oh, here we are, punch in the nose. Were you planning to blacken both eyes?
What's that got to do with it?
We're running a special. I'll see you in court tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock.
You're darn tootin' you will, because I intend to be there and see that Maynard gets everything that's coming to him.
Well, the trial started at 9 sharp, and by 9:01, things weren't looking too red-hot for Maynard.
Now, as I understand it, you're the local druggist, Mr. Fortescue.
I was. Retired last week.
Retired on what?
On the money I made selling bandages and iodine to Maynard G. Krebs then. More accidents than any kid I ever saw.
That was bad enough, but it got worse when they called in this representative from the Red Cross.
Yes, we on the Executive Council of the Red Cross have long been aware of the existence of Maynard G. Krebs. In fact, and I don't think I'm speaking prematurely, we are seriously considering declaring him a permanent disaster area.
And then to make it worse, they called on our old high school physical education teacher. That really hurt.
Coach, we'd like to find out something about the physical coordination of Maynard G. Krebs.
Coordination?
What I want to know is, how did Maynard make out on the athletic field?
Well, that's kind of hard to say, because in 4 years, Maynard never got as far as the athletic field. He always managed to slip and fall down in the locker room.
Your Honor, it seems quite clear that Maynard G. Krebs is not entitled to any damages on the grounds that he is obviously guilty of gross contributory negligence. He is absolutely uncoordinated and completely accident-prone. He slips, falls, trips, and breaks things constantly. We rest our case.
I'm sorry about all this hullabaloo, Maynard. If I had my way, they'd just pay you off and forget the whole thing.
You're all heart, Mr. G.
Well, you're a pretty sweet, lovable, warm-hearted kid yourself, and I'm not going to sit here while they clobber you.
Well, where are you going to sit while they clobber me? I could, like, sit here because I got to go up there and be a witness.
Maynard, the word is witness, but you may be right. Now, listen, this is the way we're going to handle it. While you're up there telling your story, I'm going to be down here agreeing.
But you're supposed to be on the insurance company side.
That's just it. I'm supposed to be on the insurance company side, but when that judge hears me agreeing with everything you say, he's got to know you're on the up and up and give you every penny that's coming to you.
You're like a real human being, Mr. G.
May it please the court. The first witness I would like to call is the plaintiff, Mr. Maynard G. Krebs. Will you take the stand, please?
Witness is sworn. You may proceed.
Now, Your Honor, I intend to prove that everything my friend, the learned counselor, has said is a lot of hogwash. I will prove that Maynard G. Krebs, the plaintiff, is utterly blameless in this matter and should be awarded the full amount of damages. Now, Mr. Krebs, will you describe what happened on the morning in question?
I went into Mr. Gillis's grocery store and put a penny in the gum machine.
That's right. That's just what he did.
And what was the condition of the gum machine?
It was like busted.
That's right. It was busted. Couldn't get the gum out.
And will you describe the condition of Mr. Gillis's grocery store?
No offense, but it's like a death trap.
That's right. It's just like a... What did he say?
Would you care to elaborate on that statement?
I mean, it's like a sloppy mess, and things are always like falling down on people, and the floors are scrounged, and glass is like flaking off the wall.
Now, just a darn minute.
Order in the court.
Just a darn doggone minute, man.
Order.
Man, every time a customer goes in there, he's like taking his life in his hands. It's like a real mess.
Your Honor, you gonna let this...
Order in the court. Mr. Gillis, I warn you. Go ahead.
Now, when you placed your hand in the gum machine, did Mr. Gillis at any time inform you or warned you that this was dangerous?
No, he just...
Warn him? How did I know what he was up to? He's practically nothing but a shoplifter around the place anyway.
Mr. Gillis.
All he does is bum food and break things, and what right has he got to sue for a lot of money? He just runs around in an old dirty T-shirt and plays the bongo.
That's exactly my point, Your Honor. When the only pleasure that a pathetic creature like the plaintiff can look forward to in life is playing the bongo. And when he's injured, what's left? Therefore, I urge that the court award him substantial damages. We rest our case.
Very well. Wayzak, do you have a closing statement?
Your Honor, in light of the evidence presented, it seems quite obvious that Maynard G. Krebs was solely and principally responsible for his own injury. It's ridiculous to assert that an innocent, harmless, simple little mechanism like this gum machine could hurt anybody except a clumsy, awkward bungler.
I quite agree, Mr. Wayzak. Help! Mr. Wayzak. Order in the court! Order in the court! Order! Very well. Now, in view of the testimony, I find for the plaintiff, Maynard G. Krebs. Order! Now then, as to the amount of damages. It is my opinion that in view of the amount of income lost, in consideration of the anxiety and anguish, both mental and physical, plus the value of Mr. Krebs's time, that the amount of damages shall be exactly $1.65.
Oh, I'm rich like 30 your judgeship. You're just like a third daddy.
Order the court! Order the court!
Dad, Maynard has something he wants to say to us.
Oh, the ingrate returns, huh? Aren't you afraid to walk in here, Maynard? Kind of taking your life in your hands, ain't you? Ain't you afraid this groundsy old floor will fall right out from underneath you, the ceiling will flake off? And
Dad, Maynard's sorry.
Yeah, I don't know what came over me. I guess it was modest greed. Can you ever, forgive me, Mr. G?
Well, I guess it was no great harm done, but...
No hard feelings?
Likewise. Incidentally, I've got the gum machine fixed now so that even you can operate it. Be my guest.
Can I have a penny?
Gee, thanks, Dad. It means a lot to me that Maynard's a member of the family again.
Well, a very distant member, but...
Mr. G? Like help? Oh, no, Mr. G. No, Mr. G, no. Mr. G!
subject?
Zelda, please. You're in a classroom.
So what? I love you in a classroom. I love you anywhere. I love you indoors, outdoors, upstairs, downstairs, backwards, forwards. I love you.
Zelda.
How come?
How come what?
How come you love him? He don't love you.
He will. I'll get him yet.
So what do you have when you get him? I mean, he's kind of puny, ain't too bright, and he'll be bald before he's 30.
Thanks a lot.
Like what?
Don't you understand, Maynard? That's exactly why I love him. I mean, he's weak and bewildered and helpless. He needs me to guide his faltering feet.
Zelda, please, won't you get off my back?
Never, Poopsie. I'm going to straighten you out, and we'll be married and live in a split-level house with a big green lawn and rhododendron bushes, and we'll have 3 little children, 2 boys and a girl.
And I shall send each of them a silver spoon for his christening. But right now, I should like to begin the class, provided, of course, you have no objections.
I do. I got, like, lots of objections.
Yes, Mr. Krebs, I'm sure you do. Let us press on. Arnold, prepare the mice. All right, here, my young barbarians, is a maze. Please gather around. At that end of the maze is a little box of cheese. And right here, I'm going to have Arnold put one of the mice. Well, this is BF 436. BF for bright female. See how well she runs. Without pauses, without errors. This bright little creature makes her way right to the cheese. Very fine, my little beauty. Very intelligent. Now here, we have another white mouse. But this, you might say, is a mouse of a different color. Now this one is DM 108. See how he hesitates, how he fumbles, retraces his steps. Now you know why we call him DM for dull male. Now, class, what does this experiment prove?
That mice like cheese.
Brilliant. Oh, Mr. Gillis?
It proves some mice are dumber than others. But why?
Now, that is the question. Why? And the answer is heredity. You see, one mouse has been bred for intelligence, the other one for stupidity. We've controlled these laboratory animals for generations through selective mating.
Well, he said.
You mean for one mouse you picked a bright mother and father, and for the other one you picked a dumb mother and father?
No, we went further back than that. We picked their grandparents as well as their great-grandparents, and you can see the results. It works the same with any other species, not only mice.
Yes, it works particularly well on people. For example, in the Osborne family, 4 generations, we have been picking our ancestors very, very carefully. Well, just look at me.
Yeah, I think somebody goofed.
Hush up, you low-born person.
Well, that's why dumb dogs have dumb pups, and dumb cats have dumb kittens, and dumb parents have dumb children. It's called the heredity factor. Well, what's the matter, Mr. Gillis? I've never seen you looking like that before.
I just got a brilliant idea.
No wonder I've never seen you looking like that before.
I never thought this day had come. Never. For years, I've been trying to get Zelda off my back. I tried everything I knew, but what chance did I have? I mean, Zelda's all brain, and me, well, let's face it. I'm charming, lovable, clean-cut, winsome, loyal, devoted, true, but smart? Smart I've never been, until now. This time, I'm a cinched-out widder. A cinched-out foxer to out-clever, to dazzle her with my footwork. Boy, will I dazzle her. Maynard, old friend, this is a glorious day, an historic day.
Don't tell me. Let me guess. Let's see. It's not the 4th of July, because that's in August. It's not Columbus Day, because that's in 1492. And it's not Lincoln's birthday, because that's on Washington's birthday.
I give up. Today's the day that I finally, with my own head, figured out a way to get Zelda off my back. Truly and completely off my back, now and forever.
You're Josh.
You sure are, Poopsie. I don't know what ridiculous scheme your puny little mind has come up with this time, Dobie, but you might as well forget it. You'll never get rid of me, because whatever you think of, I'll always think of something better.
Oh, I know, Zelda, I know.
Because I have a mind like Einstein, Madame Curie, and Mort Saul all rolled into one. And you, on the other hand...
am slow, dull, dim, thick, and foolish.
You forgot stupid.
Yeah.
True. So why don't you spare yourself, Dobie, and come to Zelda, who will always love and cherish you and protect you from the cruel world.
Zelda, I'd like nothing better. I mean, life would be so simple with a genius like you taking care of a dope like me. But, Zelda, we just can't do it.
You about to spring the trap, Dobe?
In a minute.
Well, spring it and let's get it over with. I'd like to measure you for a new sweater.
Zelda, my dear.
Hey, Zelda, I really think he's got something this time.
Pish-posh. Yes, Dobie, my beloved numbskull.
Oh, I am a numbskull. That's exactly what I am, a numbskull. And you've got a mind like a computer.
Well, that was established back in kindergarten. Now let's get on with your scheme.
I'm rooting for you, Dobe.
Yeah, thank you. Zelda, my dear, you have, I understand, a plan for me.
You know it, Buster. We will be married and live in a split-level house with a big green lawn and rhododendron bushes, and we'll have 3 little children, 2 boys and a girl.
Aha.
Ah, now you're gonna spring the trap, huh, Dope?
Right now.
Spring already.
Zelda, do you remember what the professor said when he was doing that experiment yesterday with the white mice? All that stuff about heredity. Dumb dogs have dumb pups, and dumb cats have dumb kittens, and dumb people have dumb children.
But I'm not dumb.
But I am. Zelda, how can you do such a rotten thing to your children, giving them my dumb brain?
But they'll be inheriting my brain, too.
Maybe. It's a 50-50 chance. But how can you risk it, Zelda? How can you gamble with your children's minds? No, Zelda, you've got to give me up for the sake of your children. You've got to let me go.
But, Dobie, I love you.
You're not going to burden those poor little innocent babies with my dumb old mind. You're going to find a mate just as intelligent as yourself.
Dobie, you've done it. You've outsmarted me.
Europa!
Maynard, that's Eureka. Come, Zelda.
Where?
To start our search for an intelligent mate. A man with a brain so large, so active, so dynamic that he'll be a worthy father of your children. And of all the guys on campus, it's obvious that the smartest, the sharpest, the wisest, the deepest, the quickest, the brightest can only be...
Surely you jest, Gillis, baby.
But Chatsworth, you haven't thought it through. Remember, you're an aristocrat, a thoroughbred, an intellectual.
A rat.
Maynard.
Dobie, just give it up. Chatsworth doesn't want me.
No offense, Zelda Chickie, but true. You no doubt have many fine
You
qualities.
bet she has many fine qualities. Brain power, intellect, cunning, a mind to match your own. Chatsworth, when you've got a thoroughbred racehorse, you look for another thoroughbred. You don't go looking for some nag that's pulling a milk wagon.
Rochelle is scarcely a nag that pulls a milk wagon, are you, ma chère?
Scarcely.
All right, so she's a blue blood. But she's awful dumb.
I'll tell you how dumb she is. She was copying my test paper the other day.
Dobie, it is well known that you have been trying to foist Zelda off on someone for years. And I do wish you luck in this worthy pursuit. But me, Dobie do? No, Dobie do. Come, Rochelle, my little muskrat. Let's go for a spin in my madly expensive handmade sports car.
Well, Dobie, I guess we're skunked. Let's go look for the second best IQ.
No, sir. There'll be no second best for you. Only the top is good enough for my Zelda.
Dobie, I love you.
You're all heart, girl, except for your brain.
The only trouble is, how are we going to get Chatsworth Osborne, Jr.?
Dobie, if you'll forgive me, this is a big problem which requires a big mind. Now, you've taken me about as far as you can with your limited mental equipment, and I'm very grateful to you. But from here on, I'm taking over. I mean, well, you don't send a boy to do a man's job.
Hey, cool. You're gonna put that rotten, conniving brain of yours to work, huh, Zell?
You bet.
It's not going to be easy. Chatsworth is a tough guy to move, even for you.
True. But there is one power in the world that can move Chatsworth Osborne, Jr. One power.
Preposterous.
But, Mrs. Osborne, you haven't even thought it through.
There is nothing to think about. Chatsworth is an aristocrat and you are a commoner.
Oh, me too. I'm more commoner than anybody.
That's exactly the point, Mrs. Osborne. You gotta think of the Osborne line. Look at him. The end of the line.
Oh, really, Mumsy? This is too outre.
Oh, nasty.
Now, take me on the other hand. I'm smart.
She's been valedictorian ever since kindergarten.
And I'm strong.
You want to hit her in the stomach?
And I'm healthy.
Show her your teeth, Zelda.
Look.
Yeah, once at a carnival, I saw her bite clean through a 2x4.
I'm a hard worker. I spend practically no money, and my digestion is perfect.
Also, her appendix is out.
Child, I am, of course, very impressed by your manifold assets, but think of the difference in our social standing.
You think of the difference, Mrs. Osborne. Are you forgetting what happened to the royal families in Europe in the olden days? They didn't marry any commoners, and their blood kept getting thinner and thinner until finally the families just disappeared. Look what happened to the Bourbons.
They all got drunk.
Look what happened to the Habsburgs, the Tudors, the Stuarts. Where are they now? Are you going to let the Osborne line just dwindle away like that?
No, by thunder, I am not.
Mumsy, whatever are you thinking of? Rochelle and I have an understanding.
Oh, golly whiskers, Mrs. Osborne.
Out of here, you puny girl. Take your flimsy, aristocratic bones out of here. Big up.
Mumsy!
Oh, Chatsworth, don't ever sneak up on me like that without warning.
Mumsy, I will not be treated like a piece of chattel.
You will do exactly as your mother, who loves you, commands. I haven't many more years left. Not more than 40 or 50, perhaps. But before I go, I want to see this Osborne house full of sturdy young little Osbornes.
Yay, Mrs. O.
You'll never regret this, Mrs. Osborne.
I certainly will not. You know, I like this little girl, peasant though she may be. I like the intelligence shining in those beady little eyes. I like that tiny, scheming little brow and that stubborn, buttoned little chin. Give me grandsons. Do you hear me, girl? Give me lots of grandsons. I want sturdy, ruthless, unprincipled, nasty little boys to carry on the Osborne tradition.
Mumsy, I won't do it. I shall hold my breath until I die.
You are looking at Dobie Gillis, free man. For the first time in my whole life, Zelda's off my back. Actually, honestly, off my back. Boy, what a glorious feeling. Of course, I'm not entirely happy about what I did to Zelda. Without me, she's a cinch to turn into a poor, miserable, unhappy creature.
Chancellor, you're so darling.
Yes, I am rather, aren't I?
I think I had announced about you and I.
Well, I too, my little otter, was quite out of sorts at the beginning. But now that I've come to know you, mwah, quelle joie.
And mwah, quelle joie to you, Chancellor.
And to think of all the time I wasted on those well-born little flibberty gibbets.
What are you complaining about? I had Dobie.
Dope, I'm gonna get me one of them goof-off specials. 1 scoop of vanilla, 1 scoop of strawberry sherbet, 1 scoop of diced leg of lamb. Why don't you get you one?
Oh, just a minute. I see Zelda over there. Maybe we ought to go over and cheer her up.
His brother gave her the pineapple.
Oh, I don't know, Dope. Looks like if she gets any more happy, we'll have to wrap her up in wet sheets.
She's just putting on a brave front. Poor, miserable kid. Hi, Zelda. Mind if we join you? Kind of perk up your spirits a little bit?
No offense, Dobie do, but we'd rather you didn't. Zelda and I are having an absolutely smashing time.
Yes, we're discussing the theories of Einstein.
Oh, sounds like screams.
Don't laugh. All my life I've been looking for somebody I could talk to about Einstein.
Yes, and all my life I've been looking for somebody who could understand Einstein.
What's to understand? E equals MC squared.
Oh, of course, but how about the space-time continuum?
You sure you don't want me to cheer you up?
It hadn't been for Aristotle.
Yes. Yeah, I could do some
Aristotle
tricks maybe,
is not
make you
likely
feel
to be
better.
dismissed.
You put it so well. Have you read Nietzsche's Mann und Übermensch?
Of course, who has not? But the real fun, my little gazelle, is to read Nietzsche along with Hegel and Swedenborg.
Would you like me to do my imitation of a chicken?
Come on, let's go down to the library and do it right now.
Of course, my impetuous one.
Zelda, chance
Dope?
Huh?
I'd like to hear your imitation of a chicken.
Never mind.
It didn't sound too much like a chicken.
Nah.
That did. A sick one.
Of course I wanted Zelda to be happy. But did she have to be that happy?
Oh, marvelous. You're going to sing.
Yes, and beautifully, so be quiet. Oh, Lord Jeffrey Amherst was a soldier of the king, and he came from across the sea. To the Frenchmen and the Indians, he didn't do a thing in the wilds of this wild country. In the wilds of this wild country. And for his royal majesty, he fought with all his might, for he was a soldier.
Hey, Dope, where you been?
Around.
Gee, I hardly ever see you anymore, good buddy. I thought once you got that rotten Zelda back, we could hack around all the time, but I ain't seen you in days.
I've been busy.
Yeah, too bad, cause you wanna know where I just was?
No, Maynard.
I was downtown watching them knock down the old Endicott building. You see, they got this big crane, see? And on the end is this iron ball. And this guy whams it into the building. Are you through? I got one more. That's it? That's it?
I'm delighted.
You don't look delighted, you look miserable. In fact, you've been looking miserable ever since you got rid of Zelda so you could be happy. Maynard, that's
True.
You ain't in love with that small girl, are you?
It's not a question of love. It's just a question of losing something that you were used to.
Yeah, it's too bad you figured out such a smart way to get rid of her.
What do you mean?
I mean, you used up all your smartness, and now you'll never figure out a way to get her back. Never.
What's the use kidding? You're right. I couldn't think of a thing, not one single thing, to get Zelda back. Oh, by the way, did I tell you I want her back? Well, I do. If you're surprised, how do you think I felt? But if our professor was right about heredity, I was a gone goose. And our professor was always right. So I'd never get Zelda back. But was he right? Couldn't there be some chance, some tiny little chance, that this one time he was wrong?
Not a chance.
Not an itsy
Not a
bitsy
smidgen of an iota of a chance. Mr. Gillis, in all the years I've done this experiment, the smart mouse always runs the maze faster.
Always?
Always.
The dumb one never wins?
Never.
Don't seem fair.
But how do you know that's on account of heredity? Couldn't there be some other reason?
Mr. Gillis, I'm not trying to tell you that heredity is the only factor of counts. Of course there are others, and they're very important, too. But you can't discount heredity. It's a fact that bright parents produce bright offspring.
You're sure?
Why all this sudden interest in white mice, Mr. Gillis?
Oh, just scientific curiosity.
Yeah, and besides, he snowed Zelda into getting off his back on account of this heredity jazz. And now that he's got her off his back, he wants her back on his back.
But to get her back, you have to prove that heredity doesn't work. For instance, if in class today I let the mice run the maze again, and this time the dumb mouse beat the smart mouse, that would sort of knock my statements about heredity into a cocked hat.
Not only that, it would prove they weren't true.
Would you? Would you let the mice run again today, please, sir? Maybe it'd come out different this time.
It wouldn't.
How come?
Because they were just fed a few hours ago, and no mouse, no matter how bright, will run the maze unless it's hungry. I mean, look how complicated it is just for it to get to the cheese. They just won't take the trouble unless their bellies are good and empty. There's no incentive.
Oh, me too. I mean, when my belly's all full up, I won't even get up to turn off the television. Last night I watched TV till 2 a.m., and the set wasn't even on.
How soon can the mice run the maze again?
Tomorrow, provided they're not fed before then.
Professor, would you?
Oh. All right, Mr. Gillis, I'll let them run tomorrow if it's that important to you.
No, it's not that important. I mean, I don't really care. I mean, what have I got at stake? Except my life.
Hey, Dobe, you want to go downtown and watch that guy flip flapjacks in the window? Hey, you want to go to the stockyards and watch him dip sheep? Well, you want to see my appendix scar?
Oh. Hi, Zelda.
Hi, small girl.
Hello, chaps.
Going anywhere in particular?
Oh, no. I just put on my satin back crepe, my rhinestone earrings, and my glass slippers just to knock around in.
Oh, date with Chatsworth, huh?
Good thinking.
Good evening, Zelda, my little
Hi,
antelope.
Chatsy. You look divine.
Oh, yes, I do, rather, don't I? Come, my pretty, let the revels begin.
What enchanting divertisements have you planned for us tonight, my clever...
Oh, nothing special. The opera, the theater, the movies, a 12-course gourmet dinner, a little miniature golf, bowling, the batting cage, and then a trip to the observatory. Halley's Comet is particularly brilliant tonight.
Let us away.
Yes, let's. Hasta la vista, amigos.
Doom. Like Doom. I'll never get her back.
Well, you always got me, good buddy.
Doom.
Like Doom.
And after tomorrow, I'll be totally and completely doomed. What's tomorrow? Don't you remember, tomorrow's when the professor does the experiment with the mice again. And of course, it's going to end up the same way again. If I ever had a chance of getting Zelda back, it'll be gone for sure tomorrow.
Like doomed.
I feel rotten.
Yeah, let's get something to eat.
Let's get something to eat. 5 innocent words. Let's get something to eat. But when Maynard said them, a bell started clanging in my head, and they suddenly ranked right alongside Remember the Maine and Tippecanoe and Tyler too as words that will go down in history. Let's get something to eat reminded me of what the professor had said. If a mouse isn't hungry, it won't run the maze. So if I snuck into the classroom and fed the bright mouse plenty of food, it'd just sit there and let the dumb one leave it at the post. Then what would Zelda think of those fancy theories of heredity? Clever, huh? Yep, like I told Maynard, the answer to my problem with Zelda is food.
Oh, good thinking.
Yeah.
We feed her till she can't move, then we grab her, put her in a wheelbarrow, and head to the tall stick, and we hide her in a cave, see?
Listen, remember what the professor said today?
Yeah, then every 1 or 2 or 3 days we go out there with a bunch of stuff like donuts and spaghetti, and we feed her again, keep her sluggish. Man, she'll never get away.
Maynard. Good thinking. Yeah. Now, will you listen? Well, Maynard didn't quite get it, but he seldom does. But I had the whole thing figured out. A, I would sneak into the classroom tonight and feed cheese to that bright mouse until it was stuffed. And that meant B, when the professor puts it in the maze tomorrow, it won't be able to move. So C, the dumb mouse will run the legs off it, which means that D, the professor's talk about heredity gets knocked into a cocked hat. E, Zelda realizes that those theories don't mean a darn thing. And F through Z, I get Zelda back. You know something? It's a good thing the Russians don't have my brain. BF 436. bright female. That's the one, Maynard.
Hi, little squeaky buddy. Look, we brought you something good to eat. Cheese.
Yes, sir, little mouse. Here you are. Eat hearty.
Yeah, go on, eat. It's yummy.
Sure it is. You'll love it. All mice love cheese. All mice love cheese.
Hey, Doe, maybe he doesn't know he's a mouse.
It's delicious. Here, I'll eat some myself. He's not even watching, Maynard. Please, Mouse, just try a little. You'll love it.
Yeah, and it's good for you. Chock full of vitamins and like that.
Please?
Look, don't be a rat, you mouse.
What was that?
Somebody's coming.
Come on this way.
That's all right. In the broom closet.
Good thinking.
Hey! It's me!
Dobe, I'm scared. Shh, Maynard, don't talk. Don't whisper. Don't even breathe. Maynard, I told you not to breathe.
I'm not breathing. Hey, Doe, there's somebody else in the closet with us.
How ridiculous.
Maynard, that couldn't possibly. Do something good, buddy?
Yeah, a little chin, little nose, two little eyes. Yeah.
Like Zelda?
Like Zelda.
Come out. Come out, please. Well, my young breakers and enterers, what are you doing here? Miss Gilroy?
What's Dobie doing here?
What's Zelda doing here?
What are you doing here? No offense.
No offense. Obviously, we all had the same idea. But who got here first?
Me.
To feed the mouse.
Then I heard somebody coming.
Me.
And me.
To feed the mouse.
But the mouse wouldn't eat.
But of course not. Miss Gilroy had already fed her.
Then we heard somebody coming.
Me. To feed the mouse. Which, of course, wouldn't eat.
Professor, why'd you do this?
Some people think of me as hard and cold and mean.
Yeah, me.
Yes, Mr. Krebs. But I guess underneath it all, I'm just a sentimental slob. Obviously, I'm not much of a scientist lousing up an experiment this way. But I figure we can stretch science a little bit if it means keeping you two together, because that's where you belong, together.
Oh, we do, we do.
Small girl, I don't dig. I mean, what do you want with Dobie? I thought you and Chatsy were having such a blast.
Maynard, you know absolutely nothing about love.
True, small girl.
Sure, I was having fun with Chatsworth. At first, anyhow, but every time I looked at you and saw those pathetic, helpless eyes looking at me like a sick spaniel, I knew I could never be happy with anyone else. I mean, if you're silly enough to get stuck for a tin-thumb idiot like you, Poopsie, no offense.
No offense, Zelda.
Then, there's no chance of ever getting unstuck.
Thank you, Zelda. That's just the way I feel about you. You're a mess, but you're my mess.
Thank you.
Yeah, but what about the kids ending up with Dobie's tiny brain?
Oh, heredity isn't all that foolproof. The kids could turn out to be geniuses. Who knows?
And what if they aren't? I'll be there to protect them. If I can take care of one dimwit, I guess I can handle a few more.
Yeah, I'm getting pretty misty.
Me too.
Me too. Anybody got any cheese left?
Mumsy, will you listen? I certainly will not. I told you very distinctly to get rid of this desiccated creature and start going around with this beady-eyed little girl.
Mumsy, that's what I'm trying to tell you. Zelda won't have me.
Oh, smarter than I thought.
Nothing personal, Mrs. Osborne. It's just that Dobie needs me.
Well, he certainly needs something.
In view of the circumstances, Mrs. Osborne, Zelda and I feel that she should return the gifts that Chatsworth gave her.
Yeah, so I brought them back. Okay, Maynard.
Peachy keen.
Why, what's the matter? Those are fine marks.
Sure, but in what kind of courses? Elementary, Italian, fingerprint identification, bird life in North America, except Winnipeg. What kind of courses are those?
Well, I'm sort of experimenting, Dad.
Herbert, the boy is trying to find himself.
Well, I will give him a clue. Just let him look behind the nearest girl with a pretty face, and there he'll be. See some chick running into a classroom and zing, he's taking that course too.
Dad, I'll admit I like girls.
Oh, and I will admit that the sun rises in the east.
That's not the reason I keep switching around. After all, college is a big, confusing place, and how do I know what I want until I try everything?
Dobie, you keep taking all these kooky courses, and when you graduate, there will be only one course left open to you. Marry money.
I don't know what you're saying.
Marry money, that's what I'm saying. Dobie, you find yourself a girl with a good, steady job and marry her, one who can bring in the groceries.
What a horrible thing to say to Dobie.
Civil service, son. That's the bit. Marry a girl with a job where she can't get fired. And not too young a girl, an older girl. I don't mean an old hag or anything, but, you know, one, say, between 30 and 35, this type, you know, they're settled and they're steady and they appreciate things.
Thanks a lot, Dad. Do you mind if I say a few words now?
Please do, dear.
Well, I've got some good news for you. I finally found the subject that I want.
What is it?
Egyptology.
Egyptology?
Egyptology, the study of ancient Egypt, the pharaohs, the sphinxes, the pyramids. I'll be going to Egypt and digging up old tombs.
You don't have to go to Egypt, son. Start digging right here. One old tomb for your poor old dad.
In 1954, my father dropped a crate of oranges on his big toe. A few days ago, I told my father that I wanted to study Egyptology. What have these two widely separated events got in common? I'll tell you what. These are the only two times I ever saw my father cry.
Oh, come on, Dobe. Tell your old dad you're only kidding about this Egyptology.
But I'm serious, Dad. It's fascinating stuff, honest. Why, Egypt was practically the cradle of civilization.
Well, I think it's wonderful, Dobie, that you finally found something that you're interested in. And I want you to know that I'm behind you 100%.
Thanks,
And
Mom.
I want you to know that what I said about marrying an older woman with a civil service job still goes.
My father's a fine man, and I have no desire to bum rap him. But truth to tell, he does exaggerate. I mean, sure, Mom's been known to talk him into things, but it's only because she uses logic and common sense and sound reasoning.
And fraud and chicanery and trickery and threats.
Herbert, you know that's not true.
It ain't, huh? Dobie, forget about Egyptology.
And Herbert, forget about dinner for 3
I rest my case.
Well, maybe I do threaten a little, but it's only because I'm right. Now, Herbert...
Now, Herbert again, huh? I surrender. I know when I'm late. Dobie, take Egyptology. I approve under duress, and I shall cry a little, but I approve.
I hope you really mean that, Dad, because I have to ask you for something.
For what? No, what a stupid question.
Well, you see, Dad, I want to go on a dig during my summer
what?
vacation. A dig.
A dig?
A dig?
Dig? I hear my people talking. Like, hi, Mrs. G, Dobe G, Mr. G. Dobe G. That means...
I know.
Ooh, boy.
Now, what's this dig? And you butt out.
Well, it's an archaeological expedition. We're going over to Egypt and dig up some old tombs and find mummies and faces and tools and stuff like that.
We're going to Egypt. Who's going to Egypt?
Well, a bunch of students and some of the teachers, too. They go over every year for 2 or 3 weeks. It's fascinating work.
I'll bet it's a fascinating cost, too. How much?
Oh, it's not too expensive. All we have to pay is transportation. The college takes care of the rest.
And transportation to Egypt ain't expensive. You're going by streetcar, maybe?
I've got the contract right here, Dad. You don't have to pay it all at once, see?
$285!
No, see, that's easy terms.
Yeah, no.
Dad, I know it's a little steep, but I've really got my heart set on it.
Oh, and I have my heart set on something, too, boy. Staying out of the poorhouse. Back to fingerprint identification.
Dobie, your father will give you the money. Now, Herbert, you sign this paper and give Dobie the down payment.
I'll pay you back someday, Dad, honest.
What with, old mummies?
Now, Herbert.
Now, Herbert, oh.
Thanks, Mom.
Come on, Maynard. We'll be late for school.
Goodbye, Mrs. G. Mr. G. Hey, Mr. G, do you think if I want one of them things you...
Herbert, you ought to be proud.
I ought to be examined, that's what I ought. Egyptology. How in the world did Dobie ever get himself mixed up in a kooky thing like that? And I withdraw the question. Winnie, open the store. I'll be right back.
Where are you going?
I am going over to that Egyptology class and find the girl that's making an Egyptologist out of Dobie and a pauper out of me.
Hey, Doe, I'd like to ask you a question. Do you really dig this Egyptology, like for real, really?
Like for real, really.
Oh, you're joshing.
Maynard, why do I usually take a class?
Because you're chasing after some chick.
True. Now look around. Do you see any chicks in this class?
Like, no.
I rest my case.
Hey, Doe, you must really love Egyptology. I mean, you got no posterior motive.
That's ulterior, but you got the right idea. Dad.
Oh, hi, son. I just happened to be in the neighborhood and thought I'd
you
drop
thought you'd
in
look in on my
and,
Egyptology class to see who the chick was who got me interested.
Well, I got a right to know.
No, there ain't no chicks, Mr. G. I just looked.
Yeah, that's what I see. So how come?
Dad, I explained it to you. We study the past to know the present.
There's no pretty face, son. This is all like intellectual-like.
Dad, I know it's hard to believe.
Hard? Oh, I wouldn't say that. Impossible? Yes. Unthinkable? Yes. Unheard of? Yes. Hard? No.
Dad, try to believe me. There's no pretty face.
Good morning, class.
Good morning, Dr. Burkhardt.
Like, good morning, Dr. B.
Uh-huh.
Who's the dean, Marilyn Monroe?
This is my father, Dr. Burkhardt.
Well, this is a pleasure, Mr. Gillis. How do you do?
How do you do?
I'm so glad you could drop by. I think it's just wonderful, the enthusiasm that Dobie has for Egyptology. Why, he's taken to it like
Cat to catnip?
Exactly. I don't know when I found a more devoted admirer.
Oh, swell.
Tell me, Mr. Gillis, are you interested in Egyptology, too?
Me?
Him?
Maynard.
Well, there are a few things I'd like to find out about.
Well, why don't you sit down and join the class? I'm going to show some movies of last year's dig.
Oh, this I would love to see.
Excellent. Maynard, set up the screen. Dobie, will you run the projector? And Mr. Gillis, you sit right here by me.
Oh, thank you. Doctor, just what kind of a doctor are you? A surgeon, eye, ear, nose, and throat, what?
Oh, I'm a Ph.D. That's a doctor of philosophy.
Oh, yeah, the kind of doctor who don't do anybody no good.
Medically, no.
Mm-hmm. Do you mind if I ask you another question?
Of course not.
Kind of personal?
Of course.
No offense, but how old are you?
35.
No offense.
No offense.
And this teaching job, it's civil service?
Yes. Why?
When you go on these digs, who all goes along?
Oh, a group of students and, of course, some teachers.
Oh, yeah, like chaperones, huh?
Oh, well, we don't look at it quite that way. I mean, after all, we're all out there for the same purpose.
Yes, but you do stick together, you know, kind of keep an eye on each other.
No. Most of the time we work in teams.
How many on a team? 2.
As a matter of fact, I've decided to team up with Dobie this summer. He's so eager.
Oh, that he is, and you're 35.
Yes.
And civil service.
Yes.
Ready with the first reel, Dr. Burkhardt.
Oh, fine. Roll it. I'm afraid our photography isn't very professional, Mr. Gillis. Our cameraman was pretty shaky. Class, now here we are at Luxor. We had just discovered the tomb of King Ames. That's 18th dynasty, of course.
Oh, of course.
My teammate has just crawled into the tomb, and now he's handing me a burial urn.
Tell me, Doctor, is this the way you always dress on digs?
Oh, yes, we're not at all formal. Comfort is all that counts. I think you'll find this a particularly beautiful specimen. Note the long, clean lines.
I'm noting.
Sometimes we were so excited by our discoveries that we kept working even after dark. Oh, we loved every minute of it. The desert nights are so soft and mild.
Kind of romantic-like, too.
Oh, yes. Nowhere else does the moon seem so close or the stars so bright.
35, you said you were?
Yes, Mr. Gillis. Twice, Mr. Gillis.
Then I suppose you don't remember Rudolph Valentino and the Sheik, do you?
No, Mr. Gillis.
Well, I do. And them desert nights and the moon and the stars and Valentino riding across the sand on that big white horse. The girl takes one look at him and turns into putty of
That's very interesting, Mr. Gillis.
Putty jelly of
Maynard?
Yeah,
No, Maynard. Get the lights. I'll rewind and put on the next reel, Dr. Burkhart.
Oh, must you go?
No, I think I'd better.
I've got a lot more to show you.
Oh, thanks, Doctor, but I've seen enough.
Here, give me a hand.
Oh, sure. Are you going to stay late, Dr. Burkhart?
Yes, Dobie, I have some work to do.
You gonna stay here all by yourself with these death masks and mummies and all like that?
Yes, Maynard.
Oh, don't do it, Dr. B. I mean, what if one of the mummies puts a curse on you?
I'll curse him right back.
Dr. B, do you think... Good night, Maynard.
Right.
Okay, Maynard. Good night, Dr. Burkhart.
Good night.
Hi, Mom, Dad. Sorry I'm late. I was tied up at school.
Egyptology.
Yes.
At night, too?
Oh, yes, Dad, I'm really hooked.
And Dr. Burkhart was there?
Yes, as a matter of fact, she's still there.
Oh, my son, my son.
Never mind. Go have your dinner. It's on the stove.
How about you?
We've had ours.
She had hers, me, I couldn't eat a bite.
What's with him?
Oh, my son,
Have your dinner before it gets cold. What are you, Herbert? Some kind of a nut?
Oh, I'm worse than that. I'm a fiend. I'm a monster. I had to tell Dobie to get himself an older woman with a civil service job, and of course he goes right out and does it. The boy does everything I tell him. He worships me.
Herbert, that's ridiculous.
You know, when you're worshipped like that, you have to be careful because there are a lot of responsibilities, too. I got to watch out what I tell this kid. I just can't go shooting off my big mouth all the time.
Now you are beginning to reach me.
Oh, my son, what have I done to thee?
Herbert, it's even too silly to think about Dobie being in love with a school teacher.
Oh, is that so? Well, you wouldn't think it was so silly if you ever got a look at this particular school teacher.
Nonsense. Even if what you say about Dobie is true, which I don't for 1 minute admit, do you think the teacher would stand for a thing like that? Why, she's a school teacher, Herbert, a college teacher with a Ph.D. degree. Obviously, she's a mature, educated woman with a good mind.
Yeah, well, I've seen gooder minds than hers get scrambled up by those soft desert nights and that big yellow moon hanging up there and the stars so close you could reach up and grab them. Do you remember Rudolph Valentino?
Yes. And I remember you, Herbert T. Gillis, when you get an idea and that hard head of yours takes dynamite to blast it out.
Winnie, please listen
Quiet.
to me.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, back to tonight's feature film from our great gallery of classic silent movies, starring those two blazing lovers of the silent screen, Ricardo Magruder and Fifi Latour, in that unforgettable desert adventure romance, Cold Steel and Hot Sand.
Heart.
Mr. Gillis, what are you doing?
I'm begging. I'm on my knees begging.
Get up this instant.
All right, I'm up. I'm still begging.
Begging for what?
Please don't take my boy to Egypt.
Why ever not?
Well, he's so young and you're so beautiful and the nights are so soft and the moon's so yellow and the stars are so close. And...
Mr. Gillis, can you possibly be suggesting that there is anything between Dobie and me?
Oh, of course not, but he's so young and you're so beautiful.
And you are so wrong. Mr. Gillis, may I remind you that I am a school teacher, a scientist, and a doctor of philosophy.
And you are also a dish.
Mr. Gillis, I think an apology is in order immediately.
I'm sorry.
Thank you. And now I think another apology is in order.
I gotta be sorry twice?
Yes. Once to me and once to Dobie. Why, you ought to be ashamed of yourself, thinking thoughts like that about your fine, upstanding son.
You think so?
I most certainly do. Now you get home and tell Dobie you're sorry.
Something I want to say to you.
About what?
About Dr. Burkhart.
Oh? What about her?
Well, she's a fine woman.
She sure is.
Yes, Dr. Burkhart is a fine woman.
Yes, sir, and good looking, too.
Yes, and she is, did you say she was good looking?
Don't you think so?
Never mind what I think. Do you think she's good looking?
Sure, Dad.
How good looking?
What do you mean?
Don't be dense, boy. I mean, how good looking do you think she is? Pretty good looking, medium good looking, good looking, extra good
Well,
looking?
I guess I'd say somewhere between good looking and extra good looking. Dad, why are you looking at me like that? Dad, where are you going?
Doctor? Please don't take my boy to...
Oh, now, Mr. Gillis, now you get up at once and stop this nonsense. I thought we had it all settled.
Look, I know there's nothing between you and Dobie here, and if you wanted to take him out and dig up Cleveland or Duluth, I wouldn't worry for a minute. Or if you wanted to take him to Denver or Seattle or some other nice, cool, temperate place like Hudson's Bay where the moon's just a sliver and you can't hardly see the stars, psst, okay, but don't take him to Egypt where the nights are so soft and the moon's so yellow and the stars are so close.
Mr. Gillis, may I ask you something?
Anything.
What are you, some kind of a nut?
Doctor, will you please tell Dobie he can't go with you?
I most certainly will not.
And then I'll just have to play it the other way. I'll just have to tell Dobie he can't go.
Oh, Mr. Gillis, you can't do that. I mean, Dobie's crazy about Egyptology. Why, this dig will be the greatest thrill of his life.
That's what I'm afraid
Oh,
of.
Mr. Gillis, be reasonable.
Doctor, who tells him, me or you?
You're determined about this. Your mind is set?
Like concrete?
Yes. Very well, Mr. Gillis, I'll tell you what I'll do. If you let Dobie go on this dig, I'll stay home. Oh, it doesn't matter about me. I've been on a lot of digs, but this is Dobie's first one, and I'm not going to let you take it away from him. He goes, and I stay.
But Dobie won't go if you don't go.
Oh? Why don't you ask him?
It's just what I'll do. Dobie, I got something to tell you. Dr. Burkhart ain't going on that dig.
Oh?
Didn't you hear what I said, boy? Dr. Burkhart ain't going.
I heard you, Dan.
Well?
Well, what?
Well, you mean you're going even if she ain't?
Why not?
You see, Herbert, didn't I tell you?
You also told me the Dodgers would never leave Brooklyn.
Yeah, what's this all about?
Son, do you mean to say you're taking this Egyptology stuff because you really like Egyptology?
Yes, Dad. Why won't you believe me? If I told you once, I told you... Dad? Dad?
So, you found out that Dobie would go even without me.
Oh, Doctor, I was wrong, dead wrong. What can I do to make it up to you?
Well, Mr. Gillis, for openers, you can get off your knees.
Oh, I'm so ashamed of myself.
Don't be. Be proud.
Of what?
Of your son, Dobie. He's a fine boy. A dedicated boy. How I wish I could be there when he first sees the pyramids.
Doctor? You are going to be there.
Oh, but Mr. Gillis,
Oh,
you said...
I know I said a lot of goofy things, but there's no reason in the world why you shouldn't go with Dobie.
No, there really isn't.
And I'm going home right now, and I'm going to tell Dobie that he's going to Egypt, and you're going to Egypt, and everybody's going to Egypt.
You do that, Mr. Gillis.
Good night.
Good night. Oh, and Mr. Gillis, you do try to stay home this time?
It's all settled. Dobie, you're going to Egypt. Dr. Burkhart's going to Egypt. Everybody's going to Egypt. What's that you're sewing?
I've been sewing a name tag on Dobie's shorts.
Shorts? What does he need shorts for?
For the dig, dear.
You saw the movies, Dan. Everybody wears shorts on the dig. The kids, Dr. Burke... Dan?
Doctor, please listen to what's in a father's heart and do me a favor.
What?
When you get to Egypt, don't wear shorts.
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 All right.
You promise?
I promise.
Honest and truly?
Honest and truly. I won't wear shorts. Dobie won't wear shorts. Nobody won't wear shorts.
Oh, you are all heart, ma'am.
Well, I don't know what you are, Mr. Gillis, but I suspect that underneath all that sound and fury, you've got a little bit of heart yourself.
You ain't mad at me?
No, Mr. Gillis.
No, you are all heart, ma'am.
Thank you.
And on top of that, you are a very good-looking woman.
Thank you.
And if we'd had teachers like you when I was going to school, I'd still be going to school. Yeah.
Good night, Mr. Gillis.
No hard feelings?
Certainly not. Good night, Mr. Gillis.
You are not going to wear shorts in the jump between you and Dobie, and you are a teacher of science.
You must be the nut. Dr. Burkhart warned me that some nut had come sliding in here in his knees, and yep, here you are.
Where's Dr. Burkhart?
The doctor's gone, but she left a message. She said if the nut comes back, that I should say, if he has anything more to tell her, he should write her a letter, care of the Great Pyramid, Cairo, Egypt. You are the nut, aren't you?
I cannot tell a lie. I'm the nut.
Like hi, Miss G. Like hi, Miss G. You want to know what I just got?
Some other time, dear.
Like a year from Friday, dear.
Oh, hey, I'll tell you. I just got a letter from my good buddy Dobie from Egypt.
That's wonderful. What does he say?
I didn't open it.
Why not?
What's the use? I don't read Egyptian.
I imagine it's written in English.
I don't read that too good either.
Open the letter already.
Yes, sir. Your grocer shipped your time and shipped. Can't tell you what it says. It's like personal.
You hardly even looked at it. How do you know?
On account it starts off, Dear Maynard.
Read the letter.
Dear Maynard. Oh, he remembered.
Maynard?
Read the letter.
Right.
Dear Maynard, we are having a wonderful time here in Egypt. Yesterday we dug up a moldy old relic, and that reminds me, please say hello to my dad. Hello.
Maynard, you left out a whole paragraph.
Told you I didn't read too good.
Maynard, go on with the letter.
We have made several interesting discoveries. I found a vase that Dr. Burkhart says dates back to the dynasty of King Tut, better known as King Tut. I don't know him either way. Sounds fascinating, huh, Mr. G?
For what it's costing me, that's the word for it. Fascinating.
Dr. Burkhart was working in her tent, and boy, was she excited when I brought the vase to her. We were both very proud and happy to make such a discovery. It was the high spot of the entire dig so far. Dr. Burkhart really puts her heart into her work out here on the desert. She enjoys every minute of it, and her enthusiasm is catching. I, too, have never enjoyed doing anything so much in my entire life. Dr. Burkhart is inspiring. The nights here are gorgeous. The moon is so close and the stars are so bright, and I feel like an entirely different person with new ideas about many things. Man, what a time you must be having, huh?
I'm so glad he's having such a fine time. Read on, Maynard.
This Egypt is the most. I want to come here again, year after year.
Oh, Herbert, isn't it wonderful that Dobie's having such a fine time? Herbert?
I think you probably can reach him and carry the Great Pyramid, Cairo, Egypt.
proud day in the history of the United States Army. A glorious day. A day that will rank with Yorktown, with San Juan Hill, with VE Day, with VJ Day. Gentlemen, speaking for the United States Army, indeed for all America, I take excruciating pleasure in handing you your discharge.
Yes, sir. I've just finished my military service. I've protected and defended the United States of America to the best of my ability. And if I say so myself, I didn't do too bad a job. There wasn't one single invasion all the time I was in the Army. Those days are over. I have my honorable discharge, and now it's back to civilian life. It's sure going to be good getting back. Not that I didn't like the Army. I mean, the Army taught me an awful lot of things that are going to be useful in civilian life, like peeling potatoes, digging foxholes, killing people with your bare hands. All valuable experience for when I become a civilian again. Brother, I can hardly wait. Excuse me. Let's face it. You can put a uniform on me and stick a gun in my hand. Teach me to march and drill and shoot and fight. But way down deep, I'm still Dobie Gillis civilian. And I won't kid you. I'm mighty happy to be going back. And I tell you who else is happy to be going back to civilian life. My friend, Maynard G. Krebs.
I don't want to go back, Dobe. Don't let him send me back to civilian life. Maynard, please. Dobe, they can't throw me out of the Army. I'm a citizen and a taxpayer.
Maynard, you're not being thrown out. You've got an honorable discharge.
What's the difference? I'm out.
Good thinking. Maynard, let me point out something to you. We're not in the 5th grade. We're young, mature adults, veterans of the United States Army. We're going out into a big, broad, challenging world.
Couldn't we go back to the 5th grade instead?
No, man.
Let's go back to the Army.
Why are you so afraid to go out in the world?
Well, what do we like find out there?
Well, our friends, families, homes, work.
Work!
Maynard, and that's another thing. You've got to stop screaming every time you hear the word work.
Work!
Maynard!
Okay, good buddy. What kind of, that terrible thing you said are we going to do?
Employment. Yeah, I don't know. Something in the executive line, maybe?
Oh, good thinking. I mean, the world is like crying for executives our age. I mean, especially with beards.
Oh, yeah. Well, how about door-to-door salesman?
Dogs bite you.
Gardener?
Mosquitoes bite you.
Babysitter?
Babies bite you.
Maynard?
Yeah, good buddy?
Let's go back to the Army.
Good thinking.
Yeah.
But, sir, no, negative, no, no, no!
Oh, well, never mind, Maynard. We'll just square our shoulders and grit our teeth. Walk with our heads held high, bravely, into the big, broad, challenging world.
Do you think he'll notice it, Herbert?
Unless he is blindfolded.
Somehow it doesn't seem enough. Don't you think we ought to have something else?
Well, how about having the Joint Chiefs of Staff for a 21-gun salute?
Welcome, war hero
For
Dobie.
Pete's sake, Winnie, the kid's done a soft hitch in the peacetime Army. The worst he's been exposed to is standing rib roasts, inner spring mattresses, and ping pong games, and you want to make a national holiday out of it.
He's coming, Mrs. G. I just saw him turn the corner.
Oh, my goodness. Come on, Herbert. Let's get ready.
Oh, for Pete's sake, Winnie.
Dobie goes marching home again. Hurrah, hurrah. We'll give him a hearty welcome then.
While I am, of course, touched by this friendly welcome, I should like to point out, A, that I am not Dobie, B, that I have not come marching home from anywhere, and C, that much as I hate to interrupt this musicale, I would like to order a few groceries.
I thought you said Dobie was coming.
But he was. I saw him. See? He stopped to tie Maynard's shoelace.
Artichoke carts, patty de foie gras, lobster tails. I don't mean to pry, Pomfret, but have you inherited some money?
No.
Well, you can't afford these fancy deluxe gourmet items on a high school teacher's salary, and you teachers ain't had a raise in 10 years. I know. I voted against every one of them.
You certainly did, good citizen Gillis. However, the fact is that I am no longer teaching in high school. I am now teaching in college.
Oh, rah, rah, rah. Coonskin coat, stuff like that, huh? Where? Princeton, Harvard, University of Pennsylvania, or one of them other fancy joints up in Boston?
Not quite that fancy, Mr. Gillis. As a matter of fact, it's the S. Peter Pryor Junior College right here in town.
Oh, isn't that lovely?
You heard of this place?
Why, yes, it's a wonderful institution. The tuition is free, and anybody can get in, just so he's a high school graduate.
You call this a college?
No, Mr. Gillis, a junior college. It's a 2-year course instead of a 4-year course. But they have an excellent curriculum and a fine faculty, all of whom, and I take pleasure in including myself, get paid a living wage.
I'm sure the high school is going to miss you, Mr. Pomfret.
Oh, I've enjoyed my years at the high school, mind you, but there have been 1 or 2 minor disadvantages, such as long hours and short money, and occasional students who turn your hair gray.
I know what you mean, like Dobie's kooky friend Maynard, huh?
Yes, and I also mean like Maynard's kooky friend Dobie.
Dobie's a marvelous boy.
Oh, he's a peach, provided you don't have to teach him physics, chemistry, or English literature.
He's coming this time for sure.
Oh, dear, Herbert, quickly. Mr. Pomfret, you don't happen to be a soprano, do you?
Madam, I am a bass baritone.
Oh, well, in that case, that will have to do. Come on, everybody, now. When Dobie goes marching home again, hurrah, 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 the men will cheer, the shout, the ladies, they will all come out and all feel gay when Dobie goes marching home.
Thank you.
The old church bell will peal with joy, hurrah.
Thank you, one and all. I'm deeply touched.
Me too. At my house, they never sing when they see me. What they usually do is cry.
Why, Major dear, I'm sure they love you very much.
It's possible.
Well, enough of this palaver. Dobie, now you're out of the Army, and I've been waiting for this day. You are a veteran and a mature adult, and I see no need to shilly-shally any longer. You and I are going to get married. Here's my veil. Hang on.
Look, Zelda.
Here's your boutonniere.
Yeah.
The ring.
Uh-huh.
Beautiful.
Beautiful.
Application for marriage
Is there
license.
something you ought to
Signed
know?
right here on my name.
Zelda, dear, I'm sure that in the fullness of time, perhaps you and Dobie will want to get married. But in the meantime, dear, he needs to be rehabilitated.
Yeah.
I mean, he needs a mother's tender, loving care to smooth over the ugly scars that the Army has left upon him. Why, look at him, a hulk, a skeleton.
Mom, I gained 14 pounds.
Yeah, you ought to see him in the shower.
Now, Mrs. Gillis.
Now, Zelda.
Now, both of you. You want to marry him. You want to fatten him up. Don't nobody around here care what I want. Here, you know what this is?
Like, yeah, that's an ensign. Man, you don't see a lot of them no more.
Maynard. This is my dream, my fondest hope. This sign hanging out in front, Gillis and Son. Well, I had this sign painted the night Dobie was born. I've waited all these years to make my dream come true.
Gee, I'm getting pretty misty.
And I'm getting pretty mid. Dad, you got a plan? Mom, you got a plan? Zelda, you got a plan? Wouldn't anybody care to ask me?
Why, of course, dear. What do you want to do?
What I really want to do is... Well, I don't really know.
A stranger may be forgiven for interfering in family affairs. Dobie, surely you must have some sort of a plan tucked away in the back of that tiny cranium.
Well, yeah. When I got out of high school, I thought I had enough education. I mean, I thought there wasn't a heck of a lot more for me to know. But then I went into the Army and I learned a few things. And it seemed the more I learned, the more I knew I didn't know. What I'm trying to say, I'd like some more education. I'd like to go on to college. But I'm not kidding myself. My marks aren't good enough for college. And even if they were, where would I get the money for tuition? So I guess I just better forget the whole thing. I mean, there aren't any colleges that take guys without marks and without tuition.
Well, I better be moving along. A lot of things to do today. Good nice to see all of you again.
Mr. Pomfret.
Where are you going?
Yeah.
Oh, it isn't fair. It just isn't fair. Now, I served my time with those guys in high school. I did my duty above and beyond.
What is the name of that college you're teaching at, Mr. Pomfret?
Where the tuition is free.
Where any high school graduate can get in?
Even me?
Even you. The S. Peter Pryor Junior College?
Well, Pompey?
Maynard.
Yes, sir.
Dobie.
Yes, sir.
welcome, freshman.
Hey, wait for me! Think of it, Herbert. Our son, a college man.
Yeah. Yeah. Rah, rah, rah.
I am Dean Magruder. Let me welcome you to S. Peter Pryor Junior College. You'll be happy to hear that I'm not going to make a long speech. Now, I would like to make a long speech because nothing delights me more than the sound of my own voice. However, there's no time for a long speech. You have never been so busy in your lives as you're going to be at S. Peter Pryor Junior College. Now, if anyone here thinks that college is nothing but fun and games, he'd better leave right now.
Well, let's cut out.
Pay attention. You've all been given copies of this freshman orientation guide. Now, this is your Bible, your manual, your rule book. Read it carefully and do everything it says. Do it quickly and do it right. Remember, you're in college now. There's no one to take you by the hand and guide you. No one to watch over you. It's a big job, I know, but if you can't handle it, then you're simply not college material. You're all adults and
Maynard, aren't you listening to the dean?
You're on your
Sure,
own.
good buddy.
Well, aren't
Whether
you worried?
you are a success
you?
or failure
Of course
in
I am.
college,
Well, if you're worrying,
it's your
I don't
own
have to.
responsibility. That's all I have to tell you. Now, open your freshman orientation guide. Your instructions are all in here. Start on page 1 and follow each instruction till the end of the book. You're dismissed.
Now then, Mr. Gillis, I'm here to help you select a program of studies for your freshman year. Do you have any particular subjects that you're interested in?
Well, I don't know, sir.
They never do.
But I know this. I want to learn. Now that I finally got to college, I'm going to give it a college try. You can bet on it.
I am fortunately not a betting man. All right then, Mr. Gillis, let's take a look at the curriculum. What would you think of taking a pre-law course?
Law. Yeah, law. I'm sure I wouldn't do too bad at it.
Your confidence is touching.
Yeah, law. It's kind of a natural for me. I mean, I'm fast on my feet, and I've got the gift of gab, and I'm so clean-cut and honest-looking that any jury would have to believe me. Yeah, law. I'd make a big reputation as a trial lawyer, and, of course, a lot of money. But that isn't the important part, the money, I mean. I'm a modest man with modest needs, and as soon as I took care of my modest requirements, I'd give up private practice.
And become a judge.
What else? There I'd be, sitting on the bench in my black robes. Uh-oh.
What's the matter, Your Honor?
Murder cases, the death penalty. I just couldn't do it, Mr. Wirtz. I mean, I'm a just man and a brilliant student of law, but I just couldn't bring myself to send a man to the chair. I'm sorry, but you see how it is.
I see how it is.
I guess I'm just all heart, sir.
You're all something, Mr. Gillis.
Heart. Hey, that gives me an idea. A brilliant idea. A great-hearted guy like me ought to take up medicine. Sure, that's what I ought to. Yeah, saving lives, healing the sick, the lame, the halt, performing fabulous operations. Uh-oh.
Yes, Doctor?
Operations. I can't stand the sight of blood.
Oh, of course not. You're all heart.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Hey, I got an idea. With my big talent in science.
What big talent?
The big talent I showed when I became the great surgeon.
That big
that
talent.
big
Yes. Well, go on. With your big talent in science, you...
Well, why don't I go into physics? I mean, this is the age of space exploration. Who knows? Maybe I could be the one who builds the first spaceship to Mars.
Mr. Gillis, about your program. So far, we've eliminated law, medicine, and physics. Now, naturally, you can't major in education because teachers have to keep kids after school, and you could never do a thing like that,
never.
being all heart. Then there's economics.
Well-
But if you study economics and become a banker, you'd have to refuse loans to people who come in without any collateral, which, of course, you couldn't do.
No, never.
Then there's dentistry, which we needn't even go into.
Looks hopeless, huh?
Not at all. I've handled cases like yours before, thousands of them. If I may say so myself, I've developed quite a technique for dealing with people like you.
Oh? What's that?
It's a kind of eeny, meeny, miny, mo. You put this blindfold over your eyes, Mr. Gillis.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
And then you throw these darts at the board behind my desk.
Oh, good thing.
American ingenuity. All right, go.
What am I taking?
Congratulations, Mr. Gillis. You're taking Russian literature, welding, and fingerprint identification. And if I were you, I'd leave the building by the back door.
Don't. How come we're running?
Because we gotta meet our big brothers and we're late.
What big brothers? We ain't got no big brothers. We're an only child.
Maynard, it's an old college custom. When you're new on campus, they give you a big brother to show you the ropes. Understand?
No.
Well, never mind. I'll explain later.
Hi, what's your name?
Maynard G. Krebs.
Here it is, Krebs. I'm Tyler Crookshank.
How do you do?
I'm your big brother.
Oh, you're Joshin.
No, it says so right here. Krebs Maynard G. See?
Yup, it's right there.
Well, all right, little brother, let me show you around.
Don't you were like right. I do have a big brother. And all my life I wanted my own really and truly big brother. And now I got one. Shouldn't we do something first? I mean, us being brothers and all?
What do you mean?
Well, I know it's probably old-fashioned and out of style, but like I always say, blood is thicker than water.
What are you getting at?
What are you, some kind of a nut? No, I'm just a normal American boy. But you don't run into your big brother every day. I mean, I didn't even know I had a big brother. Of course, I don't go out of my room much. Krebs, what part of the house do you live in, big brother?
Krebs, I think you've got it a little mixed up.
Yeah, I usually do. Oh, boy, am I glad I got a big brother. I mean, it's going to be screams tonight sitting around watching television and playing the bongos. And you can borrow my clothes anytime you want to, Krebs. I mean, what are brothers for? I mean, what's mine is yours. Here, you want to borrow my petrified frog?
Krebs, would you listen?
Sure, big brother. Hey, I wonder how they kept it from me all these years.
Krebs.
Maybe they don't know about it. Yeah, I bet that's it. Big brother, do my mother and father know you're my big brother?
No, of course
well,
not.
Come on,
now,
let's go home and tell them they got a right to know.
Krebs, you don't understand.
Grown-up big brother. Ooh, what an age we live in.
Krebs.
Come on, we'll go on home and get some mom's apple pie and you can play with my train. Come on, big brother.
Hi, Mr. Pomfret.
Like hiring a bar, sir.
Boy, what a break finding a familiar face.
Yeah. This is my lucky day. Well, freshmen, how are things going? And I withdraw the question.
Well, it's pretty confusing, Mr. Pomfret. All these buildings and strange places and new things to do.
Now, I lost my way 6 times already today.
You lost your way. I lost my big brother. I tied him to a tree so I could take him home after school, and now I can't find him.
And Maynard, I must confess that I wondered how Dobie would make out in higher education. But as far as you're concerned, I never had the slightest doubt.
Like, thanks.
Like you're welcome.
And all them programs we had to make out. Man, I never knew there was so many subjects in the whole world.
By the way, what are all of you taking?
Russian literature, welding, and fingerprint identification.
I'm taking Swahili, wildlife management, and optical lens grinding.
I'm taking marriage problems 1, 2, and 3.
Zelda, we're in college now.
Well, my luck hasn't entirely deserted me.
What do you mean?
I mean, my young barbarians, that fortunately I am not teaching any of the courses that you are taking.
Oh? What are you teaching?
English, biology, and fencing.
English?
Biology?
Fencing?
Oh, no.
We could transfer.
Sure, we could change our program so we could take Mr. Pomfret's classes.
Just like the good old days.
Hey, Mr. Pomfret, you didn't eat your lunch.
I shall never eat again.
Attention all freshmen. You will proceed at once to room 319, Vincent Hall. The doors close in 5 minutes.
might have made a mistake. I think possibly we're not college types.
I wasn't even a high school type.
Dobie, I don't like this kind of defeatist attitude. We can't quit so soon. It's only the first day. We gotta hang in there and fight. Remember that good old motto, never say die.
And you remember this motto, never bite off more than you can chew.
And this one, Tippecanoe and Tyler, too. I was just holding up my end of the conversation.
Zelda, let's be realistic. College is okay for you. I mean, you got a giant brain. But for ordinary guys like me...
And me.
It's just too much.
Courage, Poopsie, courage.
It's not a question of courage. It's a question of common sense.
And sore feet. I bet we walked 1,000,000 miles today.
Yeah, look. First hour, do this. Second hour, do that. Third hour, this. Fourth hour, that. Fifth hour, this. Sixth hour, that. 17th, 19th... It's just too much.
Hey, good buddy, there's a page left. Maybe you forgot something.
Now, what's the difference? I've had it. This ends the short but happy college career of Dobie Gillis.
And Maynard G. Krebs.
But, Dobie, you wanted to go to college.
I also wanted to be a bareback rider in a circus when I was 10 years old. Let's face it, Zelda, there are just certain things a guy can't do.
Dobie...
Save it, Zelda. What's the difference if I quit now or flunk out later? Why prolong the agony? So long, Zelda.
Goodbye, small girl.
Dobie, Maynard, come back. Come back immediately.
Look, Zelda, I don't know what's on that twisty little mind of yours, but I told you.
I know what you told me. Now read this.
The freshman guide, I read it.
Not the last page. Now read it out loud.
Well, freshman, you've had a long, hard, confusing day. You must feel as though you've been put through a ringer. Well, you have. But don't let it get you down. Tomorrow will be better. And the day after that will be even better. In fact, believe it or not, you're going to get to love S. Peter Pryor Junior College. You'll come to understand why people get sentimental when they talk about alma mater. Alma mater is Latin for adopted mother, and that's precisely what college is, a place where your mother, sheltered and protected, taught the skills and wisdom that you're going to need to cope with the hard world outside. In years to come, wherever you are, whatever you may be doing, you'll always feel a glow, a rush of warmth when you think of S. Peter Pryor. And no matter how sophisticated you get or how cynical you think you are, when you hear the alma mater hymn, there'll always be a little lump in your throat and perhaps a tear in your eye. The hymn's printed below, words and music. We would like to suggest, if we may, that a fitting way to end this long, grueling day is to sing the hymn. Sing it loud and clear. Sing it proudly.
Well, Dobie?
Well, Zelda?
Well, what are we waiting for?
Pryor, oh Pryor, our college so dear, stay in our memory. Wonder we might, but you'll always be near. Stay in our memory. Cling to us, bring to us thoughts evergreen. Live with us, give to us rapture serene. Pryor our home, Pryor our own, stay in our memory.
Oh, what a beautiful morning.
Yeah, especially for putting out rubbish.
I'm so sorry. I bet you didn't even touch your breakfast.
No time, Mom. Got to get to school.
You seem in an awful rush to get over to that college.
Oh, I am, Dad. I don't want to miss a minute.
You sure you woke the right boy this morning? This is our son, Dobie, running off to school like a racehorse.
You must be very fond of college, dear.
No, it's great.
Dobie.
Absolutely
Come on,
wonderful.
Oh, bye, Mr. G.
So long, folks.
Isn't it wonderful the way Dobie loves college?
Yeah, that's the word for it. Wonderful.
And I just know that he'll make good and go on and get lots of degrees and be a big success.
Yeah, well, won't be needing that anymore.
trying to tell you how much I admire your truly superb loyalty and devotion. Here your boyfriend, Roger, a prince of a fella, has been back east at Princeton studying to be a genius for 3 months now. And not once have you given him cause to worry or be jealous. Yes, Bernadine, it's girls like you who give me faith in the honesty and integrity of American womanhood.
Oh, well, thank you.
Wait, there's more.
Oh, what?
I love you. Let's go steady.
Back off, you big phony, or get a face full of elbow.
No, my great tawny animal.
All that blabber about admiring my devotion and loyalty. Ha!
But I'm all for him.
Ha!
For a week, maybe, even 2. But after 3 months, it's not loyalty, it's insanity.
Roger and I have a heaven-sent relationship, and no creep like you is going to torpedo it.
Very well, then, my love. Reject me. Fling me away. Turn me into a drifting, aimless, mindless, hopeless wreck.
You rang?
No, Maynard, I didn't. Please, I'm busy. And now, my angel, where were we?
You were a hopeless wreck. Now get lost. Maynard, the dance starts early tonight. Could you pick me up at 9?
Nope, I'm like unavailable to 10.
Oh, but Maynard, 10's awfully late.
Well, don't quibble, chick. Take it or leave it.
I'll take it. 10 will be perfect.
That's better. Now the loot for the tuxedo.
Oh, all right.
Oh, yeah, the taxi fare?
Oh, of course, yeah.
Ooh, and a big hunk of miscellaneous for odds and like ends.
Well, all right, here.
My friend Maynard G. Krebs has all the sex appeal of a head of cabbage with a beard. So how do you figure the way that dream Bernadine threw herself all over him? I had to find out the reason. So I went to Maynard and I said, Maynard, I think there's an explanation coming.
Okay, let's have it.
No, Maynard. You're the one who'd better do some explaining, and fast.
What's to explain? I'm gonna take that chick for every nickel she can wring out of her old man, that's all.
Maynard?
Yeah, when she's all wrung out like an old grapefruit, I'm gonna have to squeeze a lot more.
Maynard, is it really you talking?
You bet. Me, Maynard G. Me. The real Maynard G. Me. I'm like rough, tough and like ornery. No more washy-wishy schnook.
Maynard, I'm shocked. What's happened to you? What's wrong?
Nothing's wrong, except I found out the truth. My face is my fortune.
Your face is your fortune. Maynard, you're very sick. I'm taking you home.
Still don't believe me, huh, smart apple? Well, pay me like heat. About 7 or 8 weeks ago, that's almost a month, I was a sweet, lovable, cuddly, stupid kid. And then I struck gas.
Hey, Maynard, that's oil.
Yes, oil. What's the difference? I was on my way, Europa. You see, this Bernadine chick was talking to her boyfriend, Roger, just before he zoomed off to get himself a lifted pinky education. They were yakking away over in the, by the school over there.
While you're away at Princeton, I'm not going to be able to breathe or anything.
Oh, but I want you to, my angel.
Breathe?
Oh, that too, of course. But, I mean, while I'm away at Princeton, I want you to participate in campus activities here. Sorority dances, parties, football weekends.
Oh, I wouldn't dream of going anywhere without you.
Oh, but you must go. While I'm away at Princeton, becoming a man of the world, you can't remain a simple, small-town Alice sit by the fire.
Okay, if you say so, my dear. But I'll just have to find a fella to escort me who's a friend of yours.
But while I'm away, how do I know he'll remain a friend? I'd be afraid you'd fall in love with him.
Then I won't go.
But my conscience will bother me if you have to sit home alone every night.
Well, then we'll find a fellow that no one could possibly fall in love with.
You rang?
When that disastrous event took place, it was precisely 3:27. I do not make such an important issue of the exact time for any capricious reason. No, I mention it because it marked the moment when Maynard G. Krebs, kind, sweet, gentle child of nature, became Maynard G. Krebs, hard-headed money grubber and gigolo. From that moment on, he began to fall apart, morally, that is. You see, when Bernadine and her boyfriend realized that Maynard's unusual appearance made him the kind of fella it was impossible to be jealous of, they offered him money to escort her to dances, parties, and football weekends. Before long, word of this got around, and Maynard became a valuable commodity. Any girl who had a boyfriend away at school in the East or in the Army or like that could hire Maynard to be her date. Sounds impossible, but Maynard's face had become his fortune. Of all the faces a boyfriend could never be jealous of, Maynard's was the undisputed champion, and he was cashing in on it. The whole situation was disgraceful and degrading, but Maynard, the poor misguided fool, didn't realize it. In fact...
Maynard, I've been looking all over for you. You've got to reconsider my offer.
Oh, flake off, doll. One chick at a time is all I can handle. And my waiting list is longer than your arm. And your arm, too.
But Myron's been away at West Point for over a month now. And tomorrow is sophomore prom day.
Well, those are the breaks.
Please, Maynard, I'll guarantee you an all-expense-paid visit to Perry's Pizza Parlor after every dance.
Cut the wailing, girl. You're bugging me.
Darlene, I'd be honored to escort you.
As you were, Sonny. One look at you and Myron would drop me and mangle you. Maynard, please let me know the minute you have an opening. I'm missing out on everything.
Zoom off, Lulu. See what I mean, Dope? A normal-looking face like yours gets you straight to Nowheresville. But a kisser like mine, man, it's worth its weight in pistachio caramel sundaes.
I can't believe it. What happened to the Maynard G. Krebs who used to spend hours feeding the squirrels in the park? The Maynard G. Krebs who climbed over the fence at the dog pound to free helpless pups. The Maynard G. Krebs who likes to watch sunsets and flowers and rainbows after a thunderstorm. What happened to that sweet, kind, warm-hearted fella?
He went that-a-way, and who needs such a muttonhead? Look, Dope, my client bought me a beautiful plaid vest to go with my tuxedo ensemble. And I gotta go over to the tailor for a fitting, so I'll see you later.
Maynard, what you're doing is un-American.
Oh, Maynard, I've got to talk to you. Ralph's been at
Unhand me, wench. Ooh, man, what a disadjusted world we live in. I mean, I keep wondering, will supply ever equal demand?
Drusilla, my dear. Do you realize that we are witnessing the destruction of the soul of Maynard G. Krebs before our very eyes? And worst of all, the poor misguided creature doesn't even realize how horribly bad off he is.
Garcon, now we're through tripping this light fantastic. Bring our table the caviar. The entire caviar.
Maynard, caviar is so expensive that I'm already overdrawn on next month's allowance.
Well, Prudence Meglis offered me a lifetime membership in the Dizzy Gillespie fan club. And Lord Jim Plug said...
He'll have caviar.
Like a skull.
See what I mean? See the fate I had to rescue Maynard from? Boy, was he miserable.
It was a lovely evening, Maynard. Thank you for bringing me.
Oh, stand back, girl. Your hot breath is melting my boutonniere. Let us away.
Maynard, come with me. I'm saving.
Oh, you gotta be some kind of a nut.
I'm not gonna stand by and let you ruin it.
Get it back, you nuthead, or I'll call the paddy wagon.
Maynard, I'm gonna take you back to the kind of life you used to lead.
Stand that chick, call a paddy wagon.
Sir, cab is waiting. With the special soft cushions that you ordered.
Cab, soft cushions. Maynard, we're gonna go wake up my folks. That'll help me rescue you from this life of unhappiness. Thanks, we'll walk.
You gotta be kidding. Why would any girl want to give Maynard all that stuff just to go out with her? No, what a stupid question. She's got to have a hole in her skull, that's why.
I'm trying to tell you, the girls are after him because he's a very valuable commodity.
A very valuable... That broken-down wreck? No offense, Maynard.
No offense, Mr. G.
That's just it, Dad. He's valuable because he's a broken-down wreck. Yeah, no offense, Maynard.
No offense, Dope.
Let go, I'm gonna call the cops and tell them you're kidnappers and you're holding me for $1 million ransom.
On second thought, who believed me?
I forget you mentioned it.
Maynard, you absolutely cannot take money from a girl that way. It's disgraceful.
It's shocking.
It's shameful.
It sounds to me like maybe he's latched onto a good thing. It is shocking, shameful, and disgraceful.
Now, Dad, help us show Maynard how wrong he is.
Maynard, now you listen to me. This is a man's world, and you gotta act like a man. If you want something, you gotta go out and earn it for yourself.
Why?
I better quit. He's got me.
Herbert, you are not helping.
Maynard, we're only doing this for your own good. If you straighten out and do what's right, we don't gain anything by it. But you will. You'll win back your self-respect and dignity.
Do as we say, Maynard, before it's too late.
They're right, Maynard. Oh, I know it's awful tempting to take the easy road, but unless a man makes his own way in this life, he ain't really a man. Why, he can hardly look at himself in the looking glass, and as that's pretty tough for you already, why saddle yourself with an added handicap? Oh, you know what I mean.
Maynard, we only want to help. We're your friends.
Like true, the best friends I got in the whole world, or any place else.
Aha! I figured you'd have him here, you low-down kidnapper.
Yeah, you low-down kidnapper.
Maynard, we're friends now.
Maynard, come on. The gang is going to Peabody for barbecued ribs.
Barbecued ribs?
Maynard, whatever she'll feed you, We'll feed you.
And we will provide a fine, wholesome American atmosphere.
Maynard, I'll have my father increase my allowance. We'll go to the movie 7 nights a week.
Crazy. Maynard, we'll take you to the movies 7 nights a week, plus matinees.
And we will provide a fine, wholesome American atmosphere.
Come on with me, Maynard. I'll make you happy.
I don't want to go with you.
Stay with us. We'll make you strong.
I gotta stick with my good buddy Dobie, because he learned me everything I know. And if he says giving up all them jollies is good for me, well, I gotta give it a try.
Yeah, and you'll win, Maynard. We'll help you win.
Well, you bet we will, Maynard. Why, we'll help you so much even you won't be able to flub a nose.
With the help of our fine, wholesome American atmosphere.
Okay, Dobie, you win for now. But just wait. I've got him accustomed to roast pheasant and caviar. Do you think he'll ever again be satisfied with soda pop and tuna fish?
Oh, she could be right, though, but... I mean, I'm hooked on all them things. Do you think I can kick them?
Don't worry, Maynard. We're right here with you. We'll fight at your side until you've got all those horrible habits completely out of your system.
Ha! They never kick those habits. He'll be back in 24 hours for the soft, easy, luxurious life. Bye-bye, Maynard. See you soon. Real soon.
Oh, now you're acting like a man, Maynard. And whenever you think you're slipping back, you just yell for us.
We'll get you whatever that hussy would get for you.
Yeah, and forget about what it costs, Maynard. You're much more important than mere money.
That's right, boy. Forget about what it costs. After all, the important thing is forget about when it costs. Now just hold the phone. You mean I gotta shell out a lot of loot just
Yes,
so,
Herbert,
man?
we
Yes,
do.
Herbert, she do. Maynard, be my guest.
Thanks, Dan. Saving Maynard will be worth whatever it costs. You won't regret it.
Would you like to make book on that?
D-Day, H-hour. The battle had begun. It was bound to be a tough fight, but the game was well worth the candle. For the candle was nothing less than the soul of Maynard G. Krebs.
Oh, no! Oh, please, like Vanish Chick, I promised nobody to avoid you like a case of measles. Now, please.
Look, Maynard, shiny new bongos hot off the boat from the Caribbean.
Like I saw. Now take them away like please or I'll flip.
The finest money can buy. Dig the sound. In a place where you can play it as loud as you want to all night long. And each way around. No one can disturb you.
Just a darn minute.
Beat it, Dobie. You're too late. I told you he'd come back to me.
No, no, he won't. He's strong enough to resist you. Right, Maynard? Right, Maynard?
She said she'd give me them high-class bongos.
They're important. Fine as money can buy. And a place to play them where nobody will bother him.
Don't hate me, Dob. I'm not bad. Just weak.
Maynard, you know we'll match whatever she offers.
Match them bongos?
We'll match them bongos.
When?
Now!
Ain't it bad enough I had to shell out all the loot for them drums without I gotta get up and listen to them, too?
And Maynard has to have an audience when he puts on a performance.
You call that a performance? It's more like an old Mongolian torture.
Bernadine was stubborn and tricky and a girl. And that's a powerful combination to beat. Like the snake in the Garden of Eden, she kept thinking up sneaky new ways to tempt Adam, Maynard.
Oh, no.
Don't you want to go swing in my pool?
Oh, no, cut out. You don't got me, you siren. I'm taking that soft, easy, happily miserable life. No, please. No, I mean...
You won't make it look close.
Oh, I can't. I mean, flake off. I mean, go take a trip someplace.
Now, Maynard, we'll have my fun and they'll be... Oh,
Maynard, don't tell me she's dangling bait in front of you again.
Okay, I won't tell you, but she is, and this time she's got me hooked. Go, girl.
No, Maynard. You know we'll match whatever she offers. What's the come on today, Delilah?
A lazy, elegant afternoon in my swimming pool. Match that, loudmouth.
Yeah, match that, loudmouth.
Come on.
Okay.
have scared Bernadine off, wouldn't you? But no, the battle for Maynard's soul went on. The enemy was still full of fight.
And then we'll go to the La Fiesta room. They got the best Latin band in town. You know how you love to cha-cha-cha the way I showed you?
Yes, the greatest. All that cucaracha rhythm.
A swinging night of cha-cha-cha. Top that, big talker.
Nothing to it.
Oh, yeah? We'll see.
We'll see. And that Bernadine thought she had us stuck. Boy, you've got to get up pretty early in the morning to beat us Gillises. Maynard, Mom's the best cha-cha dancer in the whole neighborhood.
Well, for my age, that is. Come, Maynard. Shall we show them how to cut a Latin rock?
Ole! Viva la Senorita G! That's Mrs. G like Latin, you see.
We know, Maynard. We know. Dance already.
Oh.
Ready? And one. And one.
I thought Bernadine taught you how to dance the cha-cha.
Like true, but I was too chicken to lead, and she only learned me how to follow.
You can only follow her. Can't you lead?
Oh, I wouldn't know how, dear.
We're sunk. No wonder that Bernadine was so sure of herself.
Ooh, that music. Man, what a beat. Well, there's nobody here to dance with, so I better go down to the La Fiesta room and find that twinkle-toed chick.
Oh, no, Maynard. Don't go back to her.
Fight that temptation, Maynard. Fight.
I'm sorry, Mrs. G. Dobie. Dobie, that means that...
I know, Maynard.
I tried. Honest, I did. But it's bigger than the both of me. So, like, farewell and au revoir. And 1, 2. Cha-cha-cha. 1, 2.
Hold it, boy.
Oh, let go, Mr. G. You're cheating. You said you promised you'd give me anything the chick couldn't. I gotta have somebody to lead me in the cha-cha-cha. I just gotta.
So?
So?
So, when the little lady was becoming the best cha-cha-cha dancer in the neighborhood, for her age, that is, who do you think was leading her? Shall we dance? Cha-cha-cha. 1, 2. 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 Cha-cha-cha.
The time had come for the crucial test. Was Maynard cured? Could he resist the bright, shiny, seductive temptations of Bernadine and return to living like the sweet, undemanding Maynard we all knew and loved? That's what I had to find out.
Endicott buildings. One big whole pile of...
Maynard, hi.
Oh, she's back. Maynard. Keep her away.
Maynard.
Get lost, you bloodthirsty umpire.
Hey, Maynard, that's vampire. This time you've got to face her.
Oh, no, Dope. She'll like entice, allure me, and tantalize me back to my old wicked
Maynard,
ways.
listen to her. See what she wants.
Maynard, I have 2 front row seats for the Thelonious Monk concert. What time are you going to pick me up?
Thelonious Monk? Man, he's the wildest. I gotta go hear him. I said I just gotta go hear him. Hey, Dope, ain't you gonna offer to take me to hear old Thelonious so I won't go with her?
No, Maynard.
No, Dobie?
No, Maynard. No more bribes. We did it for a while so you'd have time to make up your mind. But now the hour of decision has arrived. Do you choose her, the shameful, disgraceful, pitiable life, or us? High-minded, straight, noble, and pure. Make your choice.
Choose me, Maynard. I'll give you steak and lobster dinners.
That's right, she will.
And tons of stereo records.
That's right, she will.
It'll be a life of sheer fun and pleasure.
That's true, and all we can offer you is friendship and honor and a chance for you to regain your self-respect.
Come, Maynard. Let us away.
Dobie.
Yes, Maynard?
Yes, Maynard.
I...
Well, Maynard.
Well, Maynard?
I'm staying with you, good buddy. I'm cured. All of a sudden, I don't want no more of them fancy doodads somebody else pays for. Namely a chick.
Maynard, that's wonderful. Just wonderful.
Maynard, have you gone soft in the head or something? I'm offering you all the luxuries a young man could want.
Sure. On account of you want something from me. My face and my lovable personality so you can swing with the hoity-toity set and still keep your boyfriend.
True.
But with Dobe here, it's different. I can't do him no good.
True.
In fact, all I ever do is give him headaches. But, I mean, he don't want nothing from me except I should be his friend. He's got no ulterior motives. That's how I know his way is the right way. Because I'm the only one who like helps.
Maynard, you're a fine, decent human being.
I know.
Maynard?
Yeah, good buddy?
Here.
You're all heart, sir.
Oh, I hope you two will be very happy.
Don't talk to us, you evil woman.
Maynard, Bernadine, you put up a good fight and you deserve a lot of credit.
Well, thank you, Dobie. You're okay, too. You really stick up for your principles. Gee, it's too bad we couldn't have met under different circumstances.
True, we might have become good friends.
That's quite possible. Well, goodbye.
And don't come back, you evil woman, trying to ruin a sweet, cuddly, lovable kid like me.
Bernadine, I didn't know quite how to say what I had to say to you, and that's why I brought Abigail with me.
Indeed.
Abigail is a student of cultural anthropology at Bixby College for Women.
Indeed.
I feel like another cad and bounder about all this. Of course, Bernadine, but when a fellow finds himself an Ivy Leaguer...
Why don't you come out with it, you big phony? You just came back here to tell me off. You got yourself an oversized head and an undernourished girl, and a small-town girl like me just isn't good enough for you anymore.
Indeed.
I'll indeed you, sister. Here's your ring and your pen. And if I find anything more of yours over the house, you can come over and I'll stuff them down your throat.
Careful, careful, those aren't paid for yet.
Indeed, yes, Skinny, and you can have him with my compliments. I'm gonna find myself a man who has the guts to stick up for what he believes in.
Hi, Bernadine.
Dobie, darling.
Me, Dobie, darling, me.
Roger and I have just come to a mutual and highly satisfactory misunderstanding.
I just saw.
Oh, you're just the man I'm looking for.
I am? Oh, yeah, I sure am.
Dobie,
Yes.
couldn't we go somewhere and talk?
Of course, my sweet. Your wish is my command.
Dobie, darling, you're so cute.
You are the moon and the
You're
stars.
so romantic.
You are poetry.
But you're so impetuous, my sweet. We've only just met. How can we speak of marriage?
When two people are in love, my pearl, it's never too soon to speak of marriage.
True.
Yes.
Roger, that meathead,
Yeah.
and I, we had our initials engraved on everything since the day we met. Good heavens. I ordered a silver serving tray yesterday. I must call them and have our initials engraved on it.
Yes. Oh, voila. Voila, my dime for the phone.
Oh, I'll rush right back.
Each second will seem like an eternity, my sweet questing beast.
Like I know.
Oh, hi, Maynard. Sit down. Look, Maynard.
Oh, hey, I see you ordered for me.
I have wonderful news to tell you. Bernadine and I.
Bernadine?
Yeah.
My former serpent in the Garden of like Eden?
Yes.
Man, I'm sure glad you never flipped for her, though. Remember once how I thought you was making up everything about helping me just so you could get her? Oh, man, I'm sure glad it turned out I was wrong. Because if I ever found out you and Bernadine were like hacking around together, then I'd never ever trust you or any other human person ever again. Never, ever, never, ever. I mean, I'd lose my whole faith in humanity. And I go back to my wicked ways as being a no-good gigolo. But, Dobe, you're good and true and pure of heart, and you only wanted to help me. And that's how come I'll always believe you and trust you. And, Dobe, I'd give you anything I owned. Oh, yeah, hey, Dobe, you want to borrow my petrified frog?
Dobie, Oh, hi, Maynard.
Oh, get lost, chick.
Look, Bernadine, there's something I gotta... Yeah, get lost, chick.
What? Dobie!
Cut out, scoot like a bunny. Right, Dobe?
Yeah, like a bunny.
Well, I never
did either. So like hail and farewell, right, Dobe?
Yeah, like hail and farewell.
Man!
Chicks, who needs them anyhow? We always got each other, right, good buddy?
I'm afraid so, Maynard. I'm afraid so.
No, Maynard, this time you lead. Oh, yeah. Ready? 1, 2, cha-cha-cha. 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 1, 2,
progress in science. This is my friend Maynard G. Krebs. He represents, well, nobody can quite tell what Maynard represents. Now, what do these four things have in common? Just wait and see.
Good morning, students. And I use the term students whimsically. Well, you are all no doubt wondering why we're meeting out here today instead of in our regular classroom. All right, so you are not, no doubt, wondering. But I am your beloved history and biology teacher, and I have prepared a stirring speech that I don't intend to waste. So I'm going to tell you anyhow, and you will A, listen with eager, fascinated attention, or B, win a real-life blunt notice of your very own. The A's have it, and so much for the art of gentle persuasion. Now to business. When our beloved founder, S. Peter Pryor, arrived here many years ago, he stood on this spot and proclaimed for all the world to hear, "This is where I shall establish my college." Rumor has it that he picked that particular spot because his feet hurt and he didn't want to irritate his bunions. However, those are probably only the words of opposing real estate operators. At any rate, this plaque stands on the most hallowed piece of ground on our campus. Tomorrow, they're going to remove the crumbling old base on which it was built and replace it with a newer, sturdier one. Now, barring unexpected foreclosure of the mortgage, the new base should endure for many years. So to celebrate the occasion, we are going to cement into it a most fascinating object, a time capsule.
A time capsule, Dr. Burkhart?
A time capsule, Mr. Gillis. You do know what a time capsule is, don't you?
I sure do, don't we, Zelda?
You bet, Poopsie.
Mm-hmm.
A time capsule is a cylinder made of lead, which, when properly sealed, becomes absolutely airtight. Thus, objects placed within it remain in perfect condition for hundreds, even thousands of years.
Thank you, Miss Gilroy. An excellent recitation, as usual.
You're welcome.
Certain objects, carefully selected to be representative of our culture, will be placed in the time capsule before it is deposited in the base of the plaque. Mr. Osborne, do you know why?
So that people can open the capsule thousands of years from now and immediately learn what superb creatures we were back here in the 20th century, correct?
Correct.
Naturally.
Tell me, Mr. Gillis, what article would you choose? Now, think carefully. It isn't a choice to be made lightly. Try to name a single object that represents, in a sense, what we believe in, what we're struggling for.
A photograph. That's what I'd put in that capsule.
A photograph of what?
Of a girl.
I should have known. Any particular girl?
No, any girl, just so she's soft and round and creamy and lovable. Because girls like that are the finest things our civilization's ever produced. And they're sure what I believe in and struggle for.
Constantly, Mr. Gillis, constantly. Your choice is hardly a profound one, but as a member of the sex in question, I can only say hear, hear. Miss Gilroy, you are always our rock of good sense. What article would you choose?
I would also choose a photograph.
Oh, of what?
Of Dobie.
Zelda, please.
I want women 1,000 years from now to study the picture of my Dobiekins and say, "Ah, those women in the 1960s clawed and scratched and fought for their men, no matter how vague and helpless and simple their faces were." No offense, Poopsie.
Thanks, Zelda. Thanks a lot.
Quiet, please. You'll have to dig in and do some better thinking than that. You will bring the articles to be placed in the time capsule at tomorrow's ceremonies. That's your assignment. And the dean will make the final selection. And they darn well right better be sharp choices, because I don't intend to let future generations picture us as an eccentric, zany bunch of half-baked screwballs who...
You rang?
Oh, Mr. Krebs, welcome to the land of the living.
Likewise, your professorship.
Mr. Krebs, you are a perpetually happy-go-lucky, cheerful young man. What light-hearted object would you choose to place in a time capsule for future generations to dig up and learn all about us?
Nothing.
Nothing?
But nothing, because there won't be nobody here to dig it up. I mean, one of them slack-headed jokers is going to wig out and push the panic button, and it's hello bomb time. Every human person in this whole world and every place else will be gone, like Bye-Byesville, like boom, boom, kerboom.
Yesterday, when Dr. Burkhart brought up this time capsule idea, I was all for it. I mean, stashing away all sorts of things so people way up there in the future can dig it up and see what made us tick sounded great. Sort of instant history. But look what it did to my friend Maynard G. Krebs. Since the minute he laid eyes on this capsule, all he can do is run around hollering, boom, boom, kerboom.
Boom, boom,
Maynard, I want you to cut that out this minute. You've been wailing and carrying on like a stuck pig ever since you saw that time capsule. What? What started it? What got you into this screwy mood?
It ain't screwy. It's like very mental. And it was a newspaper.
No. What was different about this newspaper?
I read it.
No. Now concentrate, Maynard. What'd you read in this newspaper that got you so shook up?
Oh, terrible, scary things, good buddy. People fighting other people, stabbing them, beating them up. Arson, they call it.
Yeah.
Robbing, knifing, cracking skulls.
I see.
That was only the comic page. Wait till you hear what's going on in the real world.
Maynard, I understand.
Yeah, and everybody's threatening everybody else. Overseas foreign countries yelling at us, yelling overseas foreign countries, and there's armies and rockets.
Maynard, what's wrong?
I scared myself.
Now concentrate, Maynard. Your reaction to what's happening in the world does you credit. All those scary headlines were bound to upset someone as kind and sensitive and gentle as you.
Yeah, dogs come up the street and lick my hand.
All thinking people go through a phase when they're convinced there's absolutely no hope for civilization.
I'm convinced, and I'm not even thinking people.
Sure, the world's loaded with violence and hatred and all sorts of awful things, but it's got lots of wonderful things in it, too.
But what about them big, important bigwigs walking on them big, important conferences?
What about girls and tennis and hot fudge sundaes and water sports?
What about the armies and rockets?
What about hi-fi and fried onions and cool jazz combos and wearing clean starch shirts?
What you say?
Excuse me, Maynard. Skip the clean starch shirts. Maynard, stop looking on the dark side. There's good and bad in this world, and we can live with both of them. We always have.
I don't know, Dobe. I'm like worried and scared and jumpy. And man, when I feel like that, there's only one thing to do.
Maynard.
No, don't try and stop me, good buddy. It's the only way I can think and clear my head. Man, there's nothing like this stuff to make a man forget his troubles. Oh, what I wouldn't give for a lifetime supply of that Tutti Frutti on the rocks.
Just what would you give, Krabs, baby?
You name it, you got it, Waldo.
Then refresh yourself, my bearded gourmand.
You paying?
I'm paying.
Oh, I'm eating. Like, whoa, what's the catch?
Catch?
The joker, the kickback, the booby trap. With you, there's got to be one, Chatsworth.
That's most unkind, Krabs, baby. True, but most unkind. Actually, Maney, do, it's quite simple. Item. You hold a part-time job feeding the owls in Dr. Burkhart's biology laboratory. True?
Like true. I got away with owls.
Item. Also kept in Dr. Burkhart's laboratory, in her desk, near the owls, are the questions for the biology exam she intends to give next week. True? Like true.
So?
So, I want you to steal them for me.
The owls?
No, the exam questions, you ninny.
Oh, I don't know, Chatsworth. I myself am not personally enrolled in biology. I mean, I have enough trouble speaking English. Me steal? Me? Maynard G. Honest?
Quiet, you owe.
Me burgle? Maynard G. Honorable?
They'll hear you.
I don't care. I'm 100% American boy, and I don't do nothing dishonest, and I have a conscience.
Correction, Maney, do you used to have a conscience, but it's useless to you now because none of us will even be here in the very, very near future. The end of civilization, isn't that what you said yourself?
Like true, we're heading and zooming right for boom, boom, kerboom.
Correct. And so, gracefully expressed. So, Krabs, baby, since you won't be around for your conscience to annoy you anyhow, why not enjoy yourself now in the gay, fun-filled, delightful, madcap present? Refresh yourself, dear crony, and there's oodles more where that came from if you obtain the exam questions for me.
Oh, I don't know, Chatsworth.
I merely need to see them for a few moments, then you can return them. All right, then. I'll throw in a dozen new stereo records. Very well, then. Make that 2 dozen. And a fabulous custom-built hi-fi set to play them on. But that's as high as I go. Oh, gad, man, you're a shrewd bargainer, you hard-fisted businessman, you.
Me? You.
Thank you, noble citizen. Thank you. You are performing a glorious deed for your school and your country.
Such an exam question?
You see, under normal circumstances, I, Chatsworth Osborne Jr., with my superior Osborne brain, would have no need whatsoever for advanced copies of the examination questions. Why, then, am I in difficulty now, you ask?
Who's asking?
I shall tell you since you insist.
Who's insisting?
As sole member of the Osborne dynasty, currently enrolled in this fine institution, I have certain solemn obligations. After all, who is best qualified to keep the name of our school bright and shining and continually in the public eye? Who?
The owl.
And Osborne, of course. When students drop paper bags filled with water on passing citizens, who must take the lead by dropping the first bag?
Who?
And Osborne. When students swallow goldfish, who must take the first swallow? And Osborne. When students cram into telephone booths, who must be the first to cram in and the last to crawl out? And Osborne, that's who. With such a tradition to uphold, can I be untrue to my family's reputation by shirking my obligation? No! Hence, I have had no time whatsoever for such prosaic matters as studying for a biology examination. When duty calls, and Osborne answers.
Chatsworth, you're all heart.
I surely am.
Too bad you're such a low-down rat.
It is a shame, isn't it? Now, tell me, when will you be able to borrow the exam questions from Dr. Burkhart's desk?
Oh, Chatsworth.
Don't bother thanking me, Maney, do. When do you go to feed the owls in Dr. Burkhart's lab?
1 o'clock on the dot.
It's 1:30 now.
I must have missed the dot.
Why are you dallying? Away, away, away. Hurry yourself to that laboratory post haste.
I don't know, Chatsworth. I gotta give this some high-powered thinking.
With what? No, Krebs, baby. I just meant give it all the time you need. Up to immediately.
Oh, my head's kind of cute, but it don't figure out things too good. What I need is some advice.
Advice?
Yeah, like right away, quick. And I know where to get it, too. From a person who's smart and intelligent and brainy and very, very deep.
Who says a propeller beanie and a sweet potato aren't great examples of the kind of people we are?
I do, and I'm beginning to wonder whether you're worth all the time and effort I'm putting in trying to get you to shape up.
I'm not, Zelda, so goodbye.
You are, and stop with the tricks already. You'll never get away.
Zelda, what do you want with me? I'm shiftless, irresponsible, I'm not too bright.
That's right, Snookums.
You don't agree so fast.
Also, you squint, you're pigeon-toed, and you'll be bald before you're 30.
No offense, Zelda, but it'll be a cold winter in July before anybody sees your picture hanging in the men's locker room.
We're both a couple of dogs, and we're stuck with each other. It's love, Buster. You can't fight it.
I can try, Zelda. I can try.
Sit down, mister, and cut the back talk. We gotta get cracking on the thingamabobs for the time capsule.
Yeah.
The program starts at 5 sharp, and we gotta think about what we're gonna pick. Now, here's what I've picked. So far, I can't decide between a can opener, a ballpoint pen, and a bar of soap. They're all typical of our culture.
Well, I've got some airmail stamps and a jar of instant coffee and one of my old wallets. They're all typical, too.
The wallet's empty.
With me, that's typical.
Well, this one's natural. Copy of today's newspaper.
See? It's just like I told you. Ooh, them big, black, spooky headlines. Oh, and you say we ain't doomed. Dig this. Gang war in South Side. Dismembered torso in swamp. Monster devours Cleveland.
Maynard, that's the movie page.
Oh, read the rest of it. Even worse, you'll see.
You bet I'll read the rest. I'll read some of the good news you insist on ignoring. Listen. Leaders meet at Peace and Friendship Rally. How about that, Maynard?
How about this? Peace and Friendship Rally breaks up in brawl and fist fight. Look at this. Tigers maul Yanks.
Maynard, those are the baseball scores.
Oh.
No, not exactly, Dobie. 2 American hunters while tracking wild animals.
Never mind.
See, everything's going bad. Nothing good's happening. We're like doomed.
Maynard, enough. Sure, there are unpleasant things going on in the world. We all know about it. But do we run around depressing everybody, hollering boom, boom, kerboom? No. We try to make ourselves happy with the things that are good. And it's time for you to start doing the same.
Boom, boom,
Maynard.
Boom.
I've had it with you, Maynard. I try to help you straighten yourself out, but you just won't listen. Now, get to the point. What did you come here for, anyhow?
Oh, I was talking to Chatsworth Osborne Jr., see, and I wanted to get your advice.
Okay, Maynard, I'll give you a big, fat chunk of advice. Wise up and stop trying to destroy everybody's faith in the future. If everybody felt the way you do, we might just as well run up a white flag and quit. There'd be no difference between right and wrong, between good and bad. Everybody'd do exactly as he pleased because there wouldn't be any tomorrow to think about. If you wanted something, it'd be fine and dandy to go right ahead and take it or steal it. Why worry about how you'll feel about it tomorrow? Because there isn't going to be any tomorrow. Now, what's this question you want to ask about Chatsworth?
Oh, it don't matter. You just answered it. Like, bye. Don't bother dragging the river from my body.
Maynard, look.
Cause I ain't got the bus fare to get to the river. You know what I'm gonna do, Dr. Burkhart? I'm gonna feed your owls.
Bravo, Mr. Krebs. Around campus, they're beginning to call you the Frank Buck of the bird set.
Like, thank you, your professorship, ma'am. I love them little pop-eyed rascals, and like vice versa.
No offense, Mr. Krebs, but just looking at you, I can see that you have much in common.
Like, thank you.
Feed the owls, Mr. Krebs. I'm just rechecking these questions for the biology exam.
Oh? Are you gonna stay there the whole time while I feed the owls, Dr. B?
Well, that was my intention, unless, of course, you intend flying around the room while you do it.
You think it'd work? Like, hi, Melinda. You hungry, girl? Yeah, you're hungry. Well, like, stand by. Daddy will feed you. Here you are now. Take a little nibble. Come on, little nibble. Come on. That's it, girl. Oh, good girl. Bravo. Come on, you watch how Daddy does it. Watch. Delicious. Come on. That's a teensy, weensy, little teensy bit. Come on. You don't want any iris, huh? You're too fat already. Come on, yeah. Hey, how about a song while you're eating, huh? No, not you, me. Melinda is my dearest friend. The hours we do spend playing ball, not at all. She's now on a perch.
No offense, Mr.
Krebs, but I just remembered that I have to rush home and see if my house is on fire. I'll be back in... How long will it take you to feed the owls?
Oh, around like 10 or 5 minutes, depending.
Depending on what?
I don't know. Everybody else says depending, so I say it too.
I'll be back in like around 10 or 5 minutes. I'm sure you and your feathered friends won't mind being left alone.
Naturally, won't mind being left alone. Alone in Dr. Burkhart's lab with the biology questions?
Boom, boom, kerboom. Your conscience is useless now because none of us will even be here in the very, very near future. Boom, boom, kerboom.
If you wanted something, it'd be fine and dandy to go right ahead and take it or steal it. Why worry about tomorrow?
Man, I'd like to tell you two guys to flake off. If I only had a conscience. But what goes a conscience in a world that ain't long for this world?
Unlimited sodas, sundaes, stereo records, fabulous hi-fi set.
There isn't gonna be any tomorrow.
Boom, boom, kerboom.
It's an unfair battle. My heart's like red, white, and blue, but my backbone's pure yellow.
Mr. Krebs, are you finished yet?
Oh,
I hope.
Almost, Dr. B, almost. Here, Melinda. Melinda is my dearest friend. Happy hours we do spend playing ball.
Poor Maynard. I didn't know what was bothering him, but I knew it was something serious, because for the next few hours, he disappeared completely. Boy, I was really worried. For all I knew, Maynard could be in very serious trouble. Zelda, I'm scared. If Maynard gets into one of these desperate moods, he does desperate things.
Now, calm down, please, Poopsie. You'll blow your stack.
Remember the time he decided he had to get away from it all, so he sent his picture to a Lonely Hearts Club?
I remember how they sent it back saying they were lonely, not desperate. Poor doll boy, Maynard will be fine. He always lands on his feet.
I sure hope so. Maynard, wake up. Maynard, where you been?
We've been half out of our minds worrying about you.
I had like problems, so I took a walk to do some thinking.
And what happened?
Oh, you know me, Dobie. As soon as I think for more than 2 or 3 minutes, I fall asleep. Like this.
Wake up. Did you solve your problem?
Not yet. I'm still thinking.
This problem of yours, does it have something to do with this boom, boom, kerboom silliness you've been carrying on about?
It ain't silly, and yes, don't you see, Dobie, if things ain't black and gloomy like I've been telling you, how come we don't know it?
Maynard.
How come every time you read one of them newspapers, nothing looks better, only worser?
Including your English. Listen, I don't know how I can prove to you that the world isn't on its last legs, but somehow inside, I just know it. We all do.
Sure, Maynard, and when the time comes, you'll know it, too. You'll feel it in your bones. You'll sense it.
Now, the cornerstone ceremony's starting. We'd better go. Come on, Zelda.
Quiet, please. Our program is a highly significant one, and we want to get started immediately. We are gathered here today to install a new base and a time capsule and the plaque honoring our beloved founder, S. Peter Pryor. And here to start the proceedings is our guest of honor, Dean Magruder.
Thank you, Steve. Thank you. I prepared a scholarly, philosophical, profound speech. But unhappily, on the way over here, I lost it. Now, if anyone applauds, there's going to be trouble. That's better, that's better. Now, Dr. Burkhart, I understand the members of your class have brought objects they consider to be representative of our era. And from these, I am to choose those which will be placed into this capsule.
Oh, yes, Dean Magruder. And I'm sure, more or less, that they've come up with some very good ideas.
We shall see. Miss Gilroy.
Yes, sir.
What items have you chosen for the capsule as being representative of our society?
I have a light bulb, a pocket dictionary, a can of push-button shaving cream, a can of push-button whipped cream, and a can of push-button toothpaste.
Thank you, Miss Gilroy. An excellent selection.
I also had a can of push-button hairspray, but I used it on the way over.
Mr. Gillis, what have you chosen?
Well, I've chosen a box score from the World Series and a picture of Commander Shepard, our first astronaut, and one of my mother's deep dish apple pies.
Pie, Mr. Gillis?
A deep dish. What could be more typical of our society? But to be perfectly honest, it's only half a pie. I got hungry on the way over.
When historians dig up the capsule in the year 3000, I'm sure that fact will not go overlooked. Mr. Osborne, tell me, what items have you picked for the capsule?
Not items, Dean Magruder.
An item. A single object which I assure you represents everything of value in our society. A copy of the Osborne family coat of arms, complete with the staring motto which has guided our footsteps throughout history. Hoc, nihil, substantium, tangere.
Most impressive, Mr. Osborne. And what is the literal translation?
Never dip into capital. This served our family well.
Imagine. Mr. Krebs, have you given thought to what you would like to place in the capsule?
Yes, sir, your deanship. What I put in that capsule is nothing.
Nothing, Mr. Krebs?
But nothing, because the way things are going now, there'll be nobody around to dig it up anyhow. All you gotta do is look at them big, black, spooky newspaper headlines. You'll see them like right. Everybody's yelling and hollering and arguing. I mean, there's no hope for nobody. I mean, we're like heading straight for
Surely, Mr. Krebs, things can't be that serious.
Oh, they're serious.
Hey,
All you
hold
gotta
it! There's something buried in here. I kept hooking my shovel into it. With my luck, it couldn't be oil.
At the base of the plank? What could it be?
I don't know. Let's find out.
Newspaper. President says war inevitable. Future termed hopeless. Leaders agree.
See, what did I tell you? Like hopeless, like woe is me, like
Boom. Just a minute, Mr. Krebs. Let me read further. Civilization on verge of collapse.
Like, wow, let's head for the hills. It's even worse than I thought.
Yes, mankind headed for calamity. And the paper is dated 1911. That's 50 years ago.
Yeah, that's exactly what I've been telling you. I mean, we're miserable.
50 years ago?
Yes, Mr. Krebs, 50 years ago. When they put in the original base for that statue, even then, apparently, they knew something about time capsules.
Don't you see, Maynard? Everybody's own time seems like the worst time in history while they're living in it. I guess our own time seems that way to us. But that doesn't mean we're not going to survive and grow and maybe even turn out better. That's the way it is with people.
50 years ago, they didn't think we had any future either. But we're still here, aren't we?
Still struggling, but still around.
Yeah, I guess cats like us will always be around. I mean, we don't use our heads too good all the time, but we're sure in there trying.
Good thinking, Maynard.
Very good thinking, Maynard.
Very good thinking, Maynard.
But thank you, Dr.
May we dispense with old home week and get on with the ceremony? Now, Mr. Krebs, do you still want to put nothing in the time capsule?
Oh, no, your cap and gown ship. I want to put something real progressive in there. A note. Here, here's it. Write this good, small girl. To all you cats in Futureville, like, hi. We just want you to know that things back here ain't as bad as they seem. In fact, they're like the greatest. Signed, Maynard G. Krebs, 20th century citizen.
Greatest. Here, Maynard, sign it.
Very impressive, Mr. Krebs. I'm proud of you.
So am I, Maynard.
Dobe, I only got one question. Do you spell Krebs with a K or a C?
Welcome home, Maynard. Come on, Maynard.
I know there, Krebs, baby. You're just the chap I've been looking for.
Like, okay, Chatsy, I ain't backing out of no deals. Here's the exam questions I stitched from Dr. Burkhart's lab. I, Maynard G. Krebs, boy crook.
And here's a gift certificate for the finest hi-fi set available, plus the specified number of stereo records as per our agreement.
Look, Chatsy, a deal's a deal, but I figure maybe I'm going to be around for a while after all, and my conscience is going to be trotting right along with me, so you take the exam questions, but don't give me the records of the hi-fi or any of them other briberies.
Oh, Maynard, I was hoping you'd say that.
You was?
I sure was. Look, let's hasten over to the laboratory and slip those questions back into Dr. Burkhart's desk. After all, if an Osborne can't afford to flunk a test honestly once in a while, who may one ask can?
You may be a no-good slob, Chatsy, but you're a fine, decent no-good slob.
Snob, and likewise, Krebs, baby.
Yeah, I'm getting pretty misty.
So am I.
Isn't that beautiful? Isn't that the most gorgeous thing you ever saw?
The statue of the founder, S. Peter Pryor? That old geezer with the beard? Beautiful? Oh, you're joshing, Dobe.
No, maybe.
I mean, he's like handsome, and he's like attractive. I mean, you could even call him something else, but beautiful, Dobe? No, Dobe.
Maybe.
No, still, maybe you're right. Yeah, he is beautiful. It's the beard that does it. Beards, let's face it, Dobe, beards are the prettiest thing a person can grow. True?
Maynard, I'm talking about that girl.
Girl? She ain't got no beard, Dobe.
Maynard, about it.
Hey, Dobie, wait. You promised you'd take me to the zoo and see all them lions and tigers and monkeys and cute little snakes and cute little alligators and cute little pandas and
Hey,
cute
she's
little...
leaving. Have a good time at the zoo, Maynard.
Miss? Oh, miss? Ow!
Oh, you poor boy. You poor boy. Are you all right, poor boy?
No, it's nothing. Just a flesh wound.
Can I get you anything?
No, my dear. Just keep stroking.
Of course, poor boy.
My name's Dobie Gillis.
Shouldn't I go for a doctor?
Gillis, Dobie Gillis. That's
Maybe
my
I
name.
could get you a cold pack.
Gillis, Dobie Gillis.
Hot pack?
What's your name?
Sally Bean, some bandages, an liniment, iodine.
Sally Bean.
Isn't there anything I can do?
As a matter of fact, there is.
Just name it, poor boy.
Hey, you can have dinner with me tonight.
Of course, of course.
Oh, wonderful. What time should I pick you up?
Let's see, the other boy's coming at 7. You be there at 6:45.
The other boy?
My other dinner date.
You mean you already have a date for dinner?
I just told you. Are you sure you didn't hurt your ears?
You know, I've got 20 ears now. Now, Sally, I don't quite understand. If you already have a date for dinner, why'd you accept a date with me?
Because you asked me.
I see.
Good. Now, you be there 15 minutes early so you can learn the rules.
The rule?
Yes, I explained the rules now, only I'm late for class.
I see.
Now, here's my address.
Girls are strange. I state this as a simple law of nature. Girls are strange. You never know what they're going to do or say next. So when Sally Bean, that's the dreamy girl I just met, when Sally Bean acted so strange, I wasn't even surprised, because that's what girls are, strange. Now, men, on the other hand, are predictable. You know just how they're going to react. Take my father, for example. I know that if I should come up to him and say, Dad, can I have $10 to take a girl out tonight? He would say,
Nope. You cannot have $10, but you can have 20.
Now, Dad, listen. Did you say I could have $20?
Make it 30.
You're kidding, of course.
I think you're mean, Herbert, teasing the boy like that.
Who's teasing? Winnie, I give you my word, as a husband and a father and a successful independent merchant, a paid-up member in good standing of the Bison Lodge, a veteran of WW2, the big one, with the good conduct medal, I meant every word I said.
Really?
You'll give the boy the $30?
Make it 40.
Dad, I don't know what to say. You go through life thinking your father's, conservative. No offense.
No offense, son, because that's what I am, a conservative, skinflint, and a miser.
So how come $40?
Well, it's an investment, son.
In what?
Well, look at it this way. All your life, you've had this crazy end to chase after pretty girls. Goodness knows where you get it. Certainly not from me.
Well, I like that.
Oh, now, Winnie, I didn't mean that the way it sounded. You know that to me, you are a very attractive woman. And why? Because I am a man with simple, down-to-earth, homespun tastes. Who is saying it all wrong, Winnie? What I mean
What you mean is I'm a mess.
Oh, you are not. And regardless, you're my mess, and I love you.
Mom, if you don't mind, could you argue later? Right now, let's stick to that $40.
$40 for what? Oh, yeah, I said that, didn't I? Yeah. $40. Well, son, ever since you were in knee pants, you've been chasing after a pretty face, right?
Yeah, and I'm going to catch one someday.
Oh, I hope so, boy. I hope so. It'd be nice to have a pretty face around here now, Winnie.
Herbert, before this winds up in the courts, why don't you just give Dobie the money and stop explaining?
No, Winnie, the boy has a right to know.
Oh, it's okay, Dad. You don't have to tell me if you don't want to. Just give me the money.
Now, you just keep quiet and pay attention and listen, and where was I?
You were saying what a joy it would be to have a pretty face around you for a change.
I was not. I don't want a pretty face around me. All I want is for Dobie to get a girl just like you. And oh, Winnie, will you please go upstairs and let me straighten this out with the boy? You're scrambling my brains.
Dad means he's dazzled by the sight of your charming beauty, right, Dad?
And that's exactly what I'm saying.
Uh-huh. Go on, Herbert.
Well, These dream boats that Dobie keeps chasing after, it seems to me that they all have two things in common. A, they cost a fortune, and B, they always wind up dumping Dobie.
No, not this one, Dad. Not Sally. This time it's the real thing. This time it's forever.
It always is.
Let me tell you about Sally.
I know about Sally. She's beautiful.
Beautiful, did you say? Let me put it to you this way. Sally's the second most beautiful girl in the world.
And who's the first?
I don't know. I'm willing to admit that somewhere on this earth there may be a girl more beautiful than Sally. It's not likely, but I'll admit the possibility.
That is big of you, boy. Now tell me, are you sure that this Sally is the girl you're going to wind up with?
Dad, I'm absolutely...
Think before you talk, son, because this time I'm holding you to it.
I'm not sure I understand you, Herbert.
Well, it's very simple. Dobie always gets dumped by the girl he's courting. And when you are courting a girl, that's when it costs money. Flour and candy and rented tuxedos and dancing at the Peabody roof. This is what's breaking me. But once you've got the girl, got her hog-tied, and know that she's really yours, the courtship is over.
Now I understand. I'm not sure that I approve, but I understand.
Winnie, do you remember when you told me you'd go steady? Why, I'll bet I didn't spend over $5 on you the whole next year.
$3.50. I was keeping track.
Yeah, now, you see there, boy? It's getting the girl that costs the money, not having her. And I have made up my mind. I am financing no more of your wild goose chases. When you can come to me and say that this is the girl you really want and that you're really gonna get her, I'll bankroll the project.
Oh, Sally's the girl, Dad. I'm sure of it.
Well, make it happen this time, boy. Make it happen, because if you don't, you are winding up strolling through life hand in hand with Maynard.
I'm on my way to pick up Sally Bean for our first date. I go with a heart full of confidence. I know that was a hard bargain my father drove, but I'm not worried. Not a bit. I know I'm going to get Sally Bean for my very own. Sure, you've heard me say that before, but this time I really, truly know. How do I know? Well, if you could look in Sally's eyes the way I've looked in Sally's eyes, then you too would know that here was a girl with a great, generous, overflowing heart, with a beautiful soul, with tenderness and poetry, with love to match my own. But just to be on the safe side, I'm taking a little insurance with me. This took every penny my father gave me. But tonight's not the time to think about pennies. Tonight I'm going for broke.
Never mind, Mother, I'll get it.
Ah, my dear, you look charming tonight. Charming, did I say? Ravishing.
How do you feel, poor boy?
Oh, fine, fine.
All recovered from that spill you took this afternoon?
All recovered. Sally, my dear, how
Come meet
lovely.
my folks.
Oh, yes.
Mom, Daddy, this is Dobie Gillis, the boy I was telling you about.
How do you do?
This is the first rule, Dobie. No candy, no perfume, no jewelry, no gifts.
Won't you sit down, Dobie? Mr. Bean will explain the rules.
Oh, I'd appreciate that. Excuse me.
It's really very simple, Dobie. As you can see, Sally is a very attractive girl.
Attractive? She's at least the second most beautiful girl in the world.
Are you sure you feel all right, Dobie?
Oh, I'm fine. I'm better than fine. I'm floating.
Dobie, if you could descend for a moment.
Oh, yes, sir. Yes, sir.
We're agreed, then, that Sally is a very pretty girl.
Yes, sir.
Sally is also a very tender-hearted girl. She's terribly disturbed by suffering of any kind.
Oh, I can't stand suffering. I mean, when I see suffering, I just want to curl up and die.
Then me too, my dear. Oh, what I believe in is kindness. Boys ought to be kind to girls, and girls ought to be kind to boys.
True. Everybody ought to be kind to everybody.
Yeah.
And not just people. I mean animals and bugs and insects and everything.
Oh, you're so right. Yes.
Once when I was a little girl, I stepped on a caterpillar. I cried for a whole week.
Oh, I understand.
You know what I hate worse in this world?
What?
DDT.
Me too. Down with DDT.
All those pretty little gnats and midges fainting and dying and suffering. Oh, it's just too terrible.
It's ghastly.
You know what I like?
What?
Automobiles.
Me Automobiles?
Sure. Before automobiles, people used to drive horses. The poor things had to work all day in the hot sun, and lots of terrible men used to beat their horses.
Hooray for automobiles. Viva Detroit.
The only time I don't like automobiles is when they run over turtles.
Sally, if you don't mind, I think, Dobie, that we've established Sally's tender heart.
Absolutely.
Yes, Dobie, Sally has a beautiful soul and a tender heart, which simply cannot abide suffering. For instance, When you fell down at school this afternoon and she saw you lying on the ground, hurt and stunned...
Dobie, you sure you feel all right?
Oh, perfect, my angel. Perfect.
As I was saying, when she saw you in your pitiful condition this afternoon, she would have done anything to make you feel better. If, for example, you would ask her to go steady or even to get married, it's very likely that she would have accepted.
Now he tells me.
What if you had proposed?
And what if she had accepted?
Oh, Dobie, you sure you feel all right?
Oh, fine.
It wouldn't have mattered what kind of man you were. Sally would have said yes in any case, don't you see?
I'm afraid so, but what about the rules?
Well, Dobie, when Sally was old enough to start having dates, it was clear that she needed some kind of protection. I mean, we couldn't run the risk of letting some unscrupulous young man get her alone and force her into marriage by playing on her sympathies. So we sat down, Sally and her mother and I, and we drew up some rules. We agreed, all three of us, that she would never go out on dates with only one boy at a time.
Never?
Never. When Sally goes out, she always goes out with at least 2 boys, no one of whom is allowed to bring flowers or candy or perfume, or in any other way to gain any advantage over the other boy.
Safety in numbers, huh?
Precisely.
But look, how's Sally ever going to find the man she loves, namely me? I mean, with 2 guys hanging around all the time, how's she going to get to know either one of them?
But that's exactly the point. No boy can get Sally alone and whisper in her ear and work on her sympathies. Sally will be able to pick her boy completely on his merits, not because of a smooth line or a broken leg.
Dobie, the day that Sally comes home and tells us she is honestly in love with the young man because he's a good man and not just because of her tender heart, we'll gladly suspend the rules.
Now, Dobie, if you wish to withdraw from the competition, please feel free. Many boys have said no thank you when we've explained the rules to them, and you can go if you like with no hard feelings.
I'll stay. I'm not afraid of a little competition.
Good for you, Dobie, and may the best man win.
By the way, who is my competition?
Hi-ho, chaps. It is I, Chatsworth Osborne Jr., fresh from another triumph on the polo field.
All right, so my competition's Chatsworth Osborne Jr. So what? I'm not afraid of a good fight. I come from a long line of fighters. My mother and father have been fighting for years. So what if Chatsworth is the richest fella in town? So what if he drives a foreign sports car and wears expensive clothes? So what if he's suave and sophisticated and knows how to talk to head waiters and maitre d's and bellboys? And so what if I told you that I'm about as much competition for him as Audrey Hepburn would be for Ingemar Johansson? Boy, I'm dead.
You're too modest, Dobie-Doo. I think we're quite evenly matched.
Oh, come now.
It's true, Gillis, baby. I think Sally here is going to be dreadfully hard put to choose between us.
Oh, come now.
I do, of course, have certain tiny advantages. My wealth, for instance. The trust fund, stocks, bonds, debentures, and tax-free turnpike issues. I do, my little thrush. I can't take credit for that, any more than I can take credit for the brains I inherited, which have given me one of the 2 highest IQs ever recorded in the Western Hemisphere.
Who has the other one?
Don't look at me.
Nor can I take credit for this compact, perfectly articulated body, which has made me, among other things, 3 times intercollegiate fencing champion. Touche! 2 times intercollegiate court tennis champion. 3 times intercollegiate archery champion. With the long bow, of course.
Gee, how are you in athletics, Dobie?
I can float on my back.
Druffle. You must just judge us man to man.
That's very decent of you, Chatsworth.
That's hardly surprising. I won the North American Decency Trophy 4 years running.
What do you say, Dobie?
Uncle.
What?
I say uncle. I know when I'm licked. Congratulations, Chatsworth. Would you mind taking Sally home?
Oh, chin out, Gillis, baby. You can't win them all.
That I wouldn't mind. I can't win any.
Hello, Mother.
Hello, darling.
Hi-ho, compadres.
Where's Dobie?
He went home by himself.
Yes, discretion, they say, is the better part of valor.
Well, good night, Chatsworth. Thank you for a lovely evening.
You're welcome. Just one moment, my little minx. Perhaps there's something you'd like to tell me.
Like what?
Like perhaps you've come to a decision about me tonight.
Well, as a matter of fact, I have.
Well, pray tell, my dear. Tell all of us. I'm sure that your folks will be quite interested to know.
Okay. I don't want to hurt your feelings, honest, Chatsworth, but I'm not going to see you anymore.
Surely you jest.
No, Chatsworth. I have a real soft heart, and I get all misty whenever I find anyone to feel sorry for. But let's face it, Chatsworth, you've got nothing in the world for me to feel sorry for.
Gad, can you possibly mean that you prefer that low-born Dobie Gillis to me?
Yes, Chatsworth.
How unspeakably ignominious.
You hurt, Chatsworth.
An Osborne hurt? Ho, 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 ho. My dear young woman, we did not become movers and shakers by wearing our hearts on our sleeves.
That's now.
Good night.
I'll be seeing you.
No, my child, you will not be seeing me. This is goodbye, farewell, adios, sayonara, and out.
He's not mad.
Sally, about this Dobie Gillis. Do I understand you correctly? You're really fond of him?
Oh, yes, Daddy. I felt so sorry for Dobie next to Chatsworth.
I feel sorry for a Sherman tank next to Chatsworth.
Yes, we know you're sorry for Dobie, darling. The point is, are you honestly and genuinely fond of him?
I think so.
Oh, honey, we want you to be sure that you're sure. Now try another date with him, with somebody else along.
Well, if you think so.
We think so.
Good morning, Dobie. Did you have your breakfast all right?
I wasn't hungry.
What's the matter with you, son? You look like cat meat.
Are you getting enough sleep, Dobie?
He got enough last night. It could have been later than 9:30 when he came in.
9:30. Didn't you have a good time, dear?
Well, if you want to know, I had a terrible time, a rotten, awful time.
Didn't get the girl, huh?
No.
Spend the money?
Yes.
All of it?
Every cent.
Winnie, you are a witness. You heard this boy promise that this was the girl he was going to get and that he would never ask me for another penny. And you heard me promise that he would never get another penny. And this is one promise I'm going to keep.
Relax, Dad. I'm not asking for any more money.
You're darn tootin' you're not because why ain't you asking for any more money?
Because money doesn't do any good with this girl. She doesn't accept gifts or go to fancy places or anything like that.
You found a girl who won't spend money?
Yes.
And you are letting her go?
What else can I do?
Oh, clasp her to your bosom, son, with hoops of steel. A girl who won't spend money. Oh, hang on to her, boy. Hang on to her. This is a television first.
Dad, I'd like to hang on to her, but there's a little competition.
And since when has a Gillis been afraid of competition?
Dad, it's Chatsworth Osborne, Jr.
I don't care if it's Captain Jinks of the Horse Marines. You get in there and fight, boy. After all, you are Herbert T. Gillis's son.
And Winifred Gillis's daughter.
Winners never quit and quitters never win.
And the races to the swift.
And a man who won't be beat can't be beat.
And faint heart ne'er won fair maiden.
You're right, Mom. You're right, Dad. I'm going back there and fight.
That's my Dobie.
Yeah, and win, boy. And win. And you know why?
Why?
No more money.
Okay, bring him on. I'm ready for Chatsworth Osborne, Jr. or anybody else who wants to do battle for Sally Bean. A fella like me goes through life looking for the one girl. And when he finds her, he's not going to give her up without a fight. I'll fight with bare fists or swords or pistols or BBs. But I'll fight as long as I live. If necessary, even longer.
Hey, Doe, where you been? Boy, have I got some things to tell you.
Maynard, some other time. I've got to find Chatsworth right now.
Oh, but I got to tell you about yesterday. Man, you should have been there. You know where I was?
You were at the zoo in Goodbye.
Oh, that was earlier. Afterwards, I went down to 5th and Main and watched them knock down the old Endicott building.
Tell me about it in class, will you, Maynard?
Oh, Doe, they got this big crane and the iron ball hanging. The guy goes...
Are you through, Maynard?
Got one more.
That's it?
Just a little crunch. It won't take long.
Now are you through?
Yeah, now I'm through.
I'm glad. Goodbye, Maynard.
Where you going?
To look for Chatsworth.
Something you wanted, Gillis, baby?
You're darn right there is. I want you to know that a quitter never wins and a winner never quit and faint heart never won fair maiden. And when you take Sally Bean out tonight, I'm going to be right there with you because I'm in this fight to the finish.
Well, gung-ho, Gillis, baby. But for your information, I am not taking Sally Bean out tonight.
No? Who is?
I haven't the foggiest. But it isn't I, not tonight or any other night. I have better fish to fry.
He's right, though. I mean, I hate to stick up for old stuck-up Chatsworth, but a guy's a lot better off frying fish than running around after chicks.
Quiet, I'm thinking.
About what?
About the rules governing the dating of Miss Sally Bean. Now, the rules say that Sally's got to go out with two guys at once, so one of them can't get her alone and whisper sweet nothings in her ear, right?
Yeah.
Maynard, what are you doing tonight?
Oh, no, not me, Dope. Please, Dope, I don't dig chicks. Don't make me go out with a chick.
Maynard, you've got to.
Dope, I stick my arm into the fire for you. Both arms, both legs, my beard. But chicks, Dope, please, Dope, no, Dope.
Maynard, I'm shocked. After all the things I've done for you, who's been your best friend ever since we were little tiny babies together?
You do.
That's right. And who taught you how to tie your shoes?
You do.
And who taught you how to dial a telephone?
You
and who
do.
taught you how to...
That's about all I know how to do, though.
Well, you wouldn't have known that much if it hadn't been for me. And now when I ask you one little favor, how do you repay me?
You're right, Dob. I'm a no-good rat. I'll go out with you tonight.
Oh, that's my good buddy. Yeah.
But as soon as we get her out of the house, I can cut and run. Promise?
I promise. You heard that. I promised Maynard he could cut and run as soon as we got Sally away from the house. The trouble is, Maynard didn't promise me. So what happened? 11 o'clock came and...
Tell me again about the 3 bunny rabbits you used to have.
Oh, they were so darling, all round and fluffy and white.
With long ears and noses that went like this.
Yes, and little stumpy cottontails. In fact, that's what I called one of them, Cottontail. Flopsy, Mopsy, and Cottontail.
Flopsy, Mopsy, and Cottontail? I have 3 cousins named that. Whack, buddy. Now, did you get the guppies before or after the rabbits?
After. Daddy got them for me when the rabbits died. Oh, I cried so.
Oh, I'm crying now.
Me too.
Well, anyhow, I soon grew to love my guppies. All 40 of them.
What were their names?
Well, there was Joe, Mo, and Flo, Fred, Ed, and Ned, Arthur, Alice, and Morris, and...
Sally, it's 11 o'clock.
Quiet, Dope. She's only got 32 more.
Sally, your folks must be expecting you.
I'm afraid so. Gee, Maynard, I hate to break this up. I haven't had so much fun in years.
Me neither. Hey, Sally, why don't you call home and ask if you can stay a little while longer, just till you tell me the name of the guppies and all the bees you used to keep.
I'll call. Excuse me.
Maynard, I can't find words for you.
Well, I can find plenty for you, like louse, rat, skunk, and cheat.
What are you talking about? You said you were going to cut and run as soon as we got Sally away from home.
Shame on you, Dobe. I mean, thinking up a fiendish trick like that to play on poor Sally. You know the rules. Shame on you. Trying to get that poor, dear, innocent little chick to yourself so you can whisper sweet nothings in her ear. Shame on you.
Maynard, I don't understand. You hate chicks.
Dobe, a chick who digs bunnies and caterpillars and ants and lizards and dogs and cats and lions and tigers. Dobe, that ain't a chick. That's like a real human being.
So you're not going to leave me alone with her?
Dobe, on account of our long friendship and your many good qualities, I'm going to try to overlook the rotten, crummy trick you try to pull tonight. But don't press me too far.
Great news, Maynard. Daddy says I can stay another half hour.
Oh, for joy.
Now, where was I?
You were telling me about the guppies. So far you had Ed, Ned, Fred, Joe, Mo, Flo, Arthur, Alice, Morris, Brooks.
Yes. Then there was Willie and Billy and Joel and Noah and Kate and Nate and Harry and Mary and Lottie and Toddy and... What?
I said uncle. Again, I said uncle.
Strange boy.
Weird. Please continue.
Well, then there was Jackie and Johnny and Jimmy and Earl and Merle and Pearl and Lisa.
Did you have your breakfast, dear?
I wasn't hungry.
Hey, you look worse than yesterday. Strike on again?
That's it.
Now, Herbert, don't be hard on the boy.
Oh, I am not going to be hard on him, Winnie. After all, he tried, and that's what counts. You did the best you could, son, and I am proud of you.
And I am proud of you, Herbert.
Well, thank you very much, Winnie. Son, I know that I growl and grumble a lot, but underneath this rough exterior, I'm not such a bad guy. Listen, you just forget all I said about no more money. Here. Go out and get yourself another girl.
Oh, gee, Dad, you're all heart. I'm sorry I couldn't have won this one for you.
You tried, Dobie, and that's what matters.
Certainly, and after all, there's no disgrace to losing to a guy like Chatsworth Osborne Jr. with all his loot and brains and trophies and stuff like that.
Well, I didn't exactly lose her to Chatsworth Osborne Jr.
Oh, some football player, huh, with a big neck and stuff like that?
Well, not exactly.
Well, exactly who did you lose her to?
Dobe, Sally Bean and me are like engaged. I ran right over to tell you. Look, she gave me a ring.
You lost to... and stuff like that?
Dobe?
Maynard, go away.
I know you think I'm an Arnold Benedict,
That's
but...
Benedict Arnold, but you got the right idea.
But I want to be buddies again, Dobe. I mean, I don't want to be with no chick. I want to be with you.
So Sally Bean dumped you, huh?
No, I dumped her.
For what?
Oh, she did a terrible thing, Dobe, a terrible thing.
What?
I'd rather not say.
Oh, you can tell me.
Well, she kissed me. Yeah, they're all alike, Dobe. I should have known. They're all alike.
Tell me, Maynard.
Well, what's the difference? We still got each other.
Yes, Maynard.
And we always will.
I'm afraid so, Maynard. I'm afraid so.
Hey, Dobe, did I tell you about the Endicott building? The big
About
crane and the
1,000
iron ball?
times.
And the guy goes...